Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is Matchday Live Carabao Cup. It is Preston North End versus Arsenal. It's all coming up the other side of this. So here we go. It's Matchday Live Carabao Cup action from the fourth round. A place in the quarterfinals is up for grabs. Preston North End versus Arsenal from Deepdale. What do we know about Preston? Well, they currently sit 16th in the Championship, but they've only lost 4 games. They're very, very tight defensively. They've not lost in the league since September. They are a very difficult team to beat. And they did, of course, beat Fulham on penalties in the last round. So they know how to beat Premier League teams, don't they? So it's not going to be an easy game tonight for Arsenal. Let's make no bones about that. And this is the team lineup that Mikel Arteta has gone with tonight. In goal, it is Tim Stepford for his debut. The back four is Juren Timber, William Saliba, Jacob Kiwior and Alexander Zinchenko. In midfield, it is Jorginho, who's captain, Mikel Merino, Ethan Nwaneri, and the front three, Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli. On the bench then for Arsenal, it is David Raya, it is Josh Nichols, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Aidan Heaven, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Leandro Trossard, Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz. So a lot of strength in depth there on the bench for Arsenal. For Preston, this is how they line up. Their goalkeeper is Freddie Woodman. Their back four is Kane Kessler-Hayden, Jack Whitmore, Leon Lindsay and Andrew Hughes. In midfield, Ryan Ledson, who's the captain, Stefan Pedersen, Josh Bowler, and then up front for them it is Jep Ockles, Sam Greenwood and Dwayne Holmes. So there we go. Then what do you make of that Arsenal lineup? It's a bit of a mixture, isn't it, of strength, experience, and youth. I'm surprised maybe a couple more of the younger players haven't played tonight. Miles Lewis-Skelly could have probably done with a start in this game. But it's a team that should be good enough to beat Preston. But Preston, I say, are a decent team. They don't lose too many games. They haven't lost too many games this season. I think it's going to be tough. Flugent says, good luck, Arsenal, indeed. Let's hope you're right, my friend. Terry says, good evening, Richard, all in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button nice and early. Yeah, hit the thumbs up button nice and early. Grots with us, hello, how you doing? He says, how are you going today? Yeah, we're doing all right today. What is your feelings and thoughts for tonight's game? I say 5, 6, 7, 8 to Arsenal now. It won't be anything like that. Evening, Grot, I'm going 1-4. 1-4, well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think we'll probably concede goal. Zinchenko's playing, so we're bound to concede at least one. I don't know. I think we'll win, obviously. I'm going to go 3-1, and I think it might take a couple of late goals maybe to break them down and finally get the win. I say they don't concede too many. They're very well organised. And, yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult game. Arsenal haven't played Preston at all since 2017. That was in the FA Cup here at Deepdale. That one finished a 2-1 victory to Arsenal. Preston led at half-time. We was at that game. Arsenal struggled in the first half, and in the end, it was Olivier Giroud's last-minute goal that sent us through. Of course, we went on to win the FA Cup. We've only played Preston once before in the League Cup. That was in 1999. That was at the Emirates. No, it wasn't. It was at Highbury. We were still at Highbury in 1999, wasn't we? We won 2-1 in that game. Carnu and Stefan Malt scored the Arsenal goals on that particular occasion. So yeah, we haven't played them since then in this competition. I say we've only played them a couple of times in the FA Cup. Of course, Preston North End, one of the most famous names in English football history. Of course, the very, very first English League champions, Preston North End, in 1889. They won the FA Cup that season as well. They went on to retain the league title the season after, but they've not won it since. In fact, they've had a lot of struggles in recent years. They've not been in the top flight since the 1960s. And that is such a famous name, such a famous club. About time they're back in the top flight, isn't it? But they're not going to be back in the top flight next season, you don't imagine. I say they're currently 16th in the Championship. Although they're difficult to beat, they're not winning enough games. They're the draw specialists, actually. And they did, of course, draw in the last rounds, we said, against Fulham before winning on penalties. So it is going to be a tough game, this, for Arsenal. Let's make no bones about it. It's going to be a very, very tough game. But obviously, we should be strong enough to win. Absolutely, we should. But you just never know, do you? You just never know. So let's see how the game goes tonight. What do we make of the team lineup, actually? Because I don't know. I would have preferred Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back to Zinchenko. Personally, I think, one, he needs the experience on the pitch, and I think this would have been a great game to play him in. But anyway, and you can see, can't you, that the squad depth that we have this season is just not, it's not really there, is it? You know, okay, you could look on the bench, and tonight we've got Kai Havertz, we've got Saka, Trossard, Partey, Rice, all them players, and obviously David Raya. They're all first-team players, aren't they? And they're on the bench tonight. But then you look at the players that's come in, you know, Sterling, Jesus, they're not good enough. And then you look at in the defence, Zinchenko's not good enough. You know, Kyrgios's not good enough. And the squad itself hasn't got enough depth. We certainly haven't got enough depth at centre-half. You know, Gabriel's not playing, so Kyrgios has to come in because we've got nobody else. And that's a problem. That is going to be a problem for us as the season progresses. We've already seen the injuries that we've got. You know, the goalkeeping situation, you know, young Tom Stepford's got to play tonight because Nalbano Neto, our second choice goalkeeper who's on loan from Bournemouth, has already played in this competition. And okay, you could turn around and say, well, it doesn't matter, it's the League Cup. But this is a competition that I believe should be really important for Mikel Arteta this season. He hasn't won a trophy in the last 4 seasons. He really does need to win the trophy this season. And this would actually be a good chance to win one, wouldn't it? One, it's the first cup of the season, the finals in February. Good chance to get a trophy on the board. Ease that pressure, which is going to be building up. If we go out of this competition early again, you know, okay, yeah, we reached the semi-final a couple of years ago when we lost to Liverpool. But overall, in the last 4 or 5 years, you know, since we reached the final under Arsene Wenger in his last season, we haven't done particularly well in this competition. We've only won it twice. The last time was 31 years ago since we last won this competition. It'll be 32 years at the end of this season if we don't win it this year. 32 years since we last won this cup. All of the other big sides have won this cup much more recently than we have. Obviously, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, even Tottenham have won it twice since we last won it. That's how bad things are. You know, even smaller clubs like Birmingham, Swansea, Leicester, they've all won this competition. They've all won this competition since we last did. The list is endless. And we've got to start winning. We've got to start winning some trophies. And this will do. To starters, I'm not saying that if this is the only trophy we win this season, it's enough. No, but it's a start. Mikel Arteta's got to start somewhere with a trophy with his team and his squad that he's built. And this is as good a competition to do it as we'll have. It's not an easy draw tonight. Let's make no mistake about it. Preston North End will be a difficult team to beat at home. Absolutely they will. It's not going to be an easy game. But having said that, it's a game we should win. And then you're in the quarterfinals. And if you're in the quarterfinals of any cup competition, yes, it gets tough because you're probably going to have to face a good team. But if you're going to win any cup competition, you've got to beat these teams, haven't you? So let's see what happens. Grot says, it seems dark over here, but now I think I fixed it. I had to show the staff on the pub how to operate the streaming service now to find the game. Good stuff. Terry says, to me, this could be a career saving. It could be career saving for Arteta. Come on, Preston. No, I mean, is it enough just to win the League Cup? No. But having not won a trophy in the last 4 seasons, it could be, I don't know if it's enough to save his career. It's certainly going to prolong it, isn't it? A bit longer, you'd imagine. But I don't really care too much about that. I don't think Mikel Arteta is going to get sacked regardless. So let's just do the best that we can. Let's get through this game. Let's try and win it. Let's try and win the competition. I say 2 League Cups in our history. You know, we're a big club, right? There's no question about that. We are one of the biggest names in football in the world. We're one of the biggest clubs in English football. But we've only won the League Cup twice, and we've only won 2 European trophies. That is poor. That is really, really poor for a team of our club of our size and our history. It's really poor. We should have won more League Cups. We should have won more European trophies. And we can't dismiss this competition. Oh, well, it's not important. Of course, it's important. All competitions are important. All trophies are important. This is important. It's an important game tonight. It's an important competition. And yes, by winning it, if we did win it, obviously that it's going to be good kudos to Mikel Arteta. He needs a trophy. We need a trophy as a club. So let's try and win it. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? Yes, I'm not a big fan of Mikel Arteta. Anyone who's ever watched this channel will know that I'm not his biggest fan, and there's lots of reasons for that. But ultimately, while he's manager of the club, I want the club to do as best as we can do. That's all I want. I just want us to do the best we can do. So ultimately, what will be. And if we don't do well enough, if we don't win trophies for a significant period of time, the manager will go. That's football. It happens, and that is the way it is. So let's sort of focus on the things that we care about, which is the team doing well, and that's what we want to try and do, don't we? It doesn't matter too much about anything else really. I'm not overly concerned. What will be, and let's hope that we can win a trophy. And this trophy will do. It's a good trophy to win, and it's sometimes it has been for many other clubs. It's been the springboard, hasn't it, for a period of success. It was Jose Mourinho's first trophy in England was the League Cup. Pep Guardiola's first trophy in England was the League Cup. It was a springboard for them to go on and win a lot more trophies. Is it going to be the springboard for Mikel Arteta? And, whatever we think of Mikel Arteta, and I know there's a few people who watch this channel that don't particularly think he's the man to take us forward, and I happen to agree. We want him to be, if he's successful and starts winning trophies, then that's fine. That's all we want. We don't care about anything else. Let's just win and try and win with a little bit of style. Let's not be scared. Let's not play this frightened football that we seem to have got ourselves into recently. Let's go out there and let's play some exciting football and let's try and win games in style and not by wasting time and rolling around and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, Gabriel's with us. He says, let Nwaneri cook. Well, indeed, exactly. Nick's Crew says, hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Gabriel says, FA Cup over Carabao Cup. Well, of course, absolutely. I mean, all the other 3 trophies would be over the Carabao Cup, but ultimately it's a trophy and Mikel Arteta needs to win one. So let's win this one. And it is the first trophy of the season. So let's see what it can lead to. But we've got a tough game tonight here. Let's not make any bones about it. This will be a very, very tough game. Gabriel says, if we don't want Mikel, who are you going to hire? Well, it's not my job to hire anybody. That's the club's job. But there's plenty of managers out there that have got experience of winning top trophies that we could get if we wanted to because we're Arsenal. So let's not use that as an excuse to keep a manager that's not winning anything because who can we get? Well, we can get anybody. Look at Liverpool, right? They got Arne Slot, right, in the summer. And okay, he's not won anything yet. He's only been there for 9 games, but they're above us in the league. Look at Chelsea's new manager. Look how well they're playing. And at the end of the season, if either of those 2 managers have won a trophy and Mikel Arteta hasn't, our fans would have not been happy if we had appointed either of those 2 managers. And yet they may well go on and be more successful than Mikel Arteta's been. So, there's loads of managers out there, and let the people that do the due process when it comes to getting a new manager, let them do that job, and we'll worry about our job, which is to follow the team and hope that they play well. Rajandra's with us earlier, my friend. He says we do play exciting football. I'm sorry, I don't know what games you watch. We've not played exciting football all season. You know me one game this season where we played exciting football because we haven't, not once. Rajendra says it's our FA Cup. Well, it's not at the moment, is it? It's Man United. We need to get it back. We've won it the most times, but we haven't won it for 4 years, and we need to get it back because it is our cup. We've won it the most, but at the minute it's not in our trophy cabinet, is it? We need to find a way to get it into our trophy cabinet. That's what we need to do. So let's try and do it this season. That's what we need to do. Let's win a trophy, man. Mark says with us, evening chaps, how are you doing? Chance with us as well. Hi Rich and all the Gooners, indeed, good to see you all. Don't forget to hit that like button before we start the game. I'm just getting a few settings set up here. We will get there for you very, very shortly. We are going to enjoy this game, I'm sure. It's just about to kick off in Preston, which for those of you not familiar with English geography, it is in the northwest. It's kind of between Liverpool and Manchester, I suppose. It's sort of roughly where it is, the northwest of England, and it's a very famous old stadium actually, and a very famous old club. So not that we've played them too often recently. So they've not been in the top flight since the 1960s. Anyway, I'm just about to get off and underway here at Deepdale. Peter Banks is a referee. Preston are in white shirts and blue. Arsenal in their black Lynx Africa kit. And we are off and underway. It goes straight back to Tom Stepford, who kicks it long up this near side. It's gone out for a throw to Preston. Arsenal attacking at the goal to our right, which is the end where the Arsenal fans are. A different way around to last time when we played here. Rajandra says Preston are the original league winners. Oh, indeed, yeah, we mentioned that right at the start of the show. They won the double. They won it a year after the league. But then, of course, what happened was they haven't won it since. And that's the way it goes in football sometimes. M&G Maxwell says, Gracie 012 watching with my dad. Do you think we'll win the league in the next 5 years? Well, that's a very good question. I hope so, Gracie. I really do. I hope we can win the league before the next 5 years because we've waited long enough already. 21 years it is, 22 years it will be this year. The longest we've waited for a league title since 1930. Incredible. So I'm sure we will win it very shortly. Greg says, evening all. 3-1 to Preston and a new manager on the horizon. Dreamt about it last night. Well, you must have had a good sleep, my friend. You must have had a good sleep. Chan says, I read Preston also had the invincible season. Well, they did, yeah. That was the very first season in the Football League. They only played 20 games. Is that really count as an invincible season when it's 20 games? I don't think it's. We're the only invincibles. Mark C says, can't think of any players who played for both Preston and Arsenal. Well, that's an interesting question, actually. No, I can't think of it off the top of my head, actually. There probably will be one. I'm sure there will be one or two somewhere along the line, maybe back in the olden days, the 1930s, 1950s or something like that. There may well have been a player that played for both of these clubs. I can think of one in recent years, certainly. But yeah, no, I'm not sure. There's been some famous Preston players over the years, hasn't there? Tom Finney, of course, being the most famous. There's a statue of him at the stadium. One of the stands is named after him as well. But yeah. Anyway, not too much has happened so far in the game. It's been very cagey. Arsenal just looking to really settle down. We've got obviously a lot of changes to the team tonight. Jorginho is the captain, by the way, just in case you missed it at the start. He is in midfield. Jacob Kiwior now on the ball, playing in that left centre-back position in place of Gabriel, who isn't in the squad, but I don't necessarily think it's due to his injury. It's probably just as much down to the fact that they just rest him anyway because he's probably not 100% fit, is he? So let's see what happens. Let's hope that the injury is not too serious because you can see we're almost at bare bones at centre-back, aren't we? Let's be honest. Having to play Kiwior, we saw what happened to him at Bournemouth in our last away game, 10 days ago when he came on. Not very good. Gracie says, I hope we win. Indeed, we all hope we win. That's what we're hoping for. Gabriel says, played them before. I think we've played them in the League Cup once before. We've played them in the FA Cup a few times over the years. But we haven't played them at all since 1999. Since 2017 was here in the FA Cup and the League Cup was 1999. And he says, evening, boys. Another goal for Ethan. Yeah, maybe he says, we may well see another goal from Ethan. He did, of course, score 2 in the last round, didn't he? That win over Bolton, who were, of course, in the league below Preston. And it was a good Arsenal performance that night, wasn't it? We played pretty well against moderate opposition, it has to be said. Scored a few goals, looked pretty decent. But yeah, let's just see how this game goes tonight. And let's see if we can overcome what will be a very tricky opposition. There's no doubt about that. You know, they may not have won too many games this season, but they don't lose very often. And so they've not lost in the league since September. Although they did throw away a 3-goal lead at the weekend against Plymouth, I think it was. They were 3-0 up, ended up drawing 3-3, which is unusual for them because they don't concede too many goals, actually, Preston. They've been very tight at the back. Phil says Alex James in the third. Yes, I think Alex James played for Preston. You're right. And I think as well there was it David Jack as well? David Jack. Oh, no, he played for Bolton, not Preston. That's right. But no, you're right. Alex James, of course, one of Arsenal's greatest ever players, did play for Preston. Of course he did. That's who we signed him from. And of course, Preston were the first ever English League champions. Wow, incredible. Phil says, I looked it up. Is that the only one then, Phil? I'm assuming it probably is. Although there may have been other players sort of back in the 20s and 30s, maybe, that had played for. There's probably some obscure one that no one's ever heard of that may have played for both of these clubs. some reserve goalkeeper or something, maybe. I'll be surprised if Stuart Taylor didn't play for Preston, because he played for everybody else, didn't he? Anyway, the game's not really got going yet. It's been very flat. We've played about 3 minutes. My stream keeps freezing, actually, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, I'm sure the game will liven up. And you says, let's hope it's a good game. I do like cup matches. Well, no, I think cup matches are great, aren't they? It's the jeopardy involved, isn't it? You know, you're losing, you're out. And I kind of like that. I think it puts a little bit more pressure on everybody. But at the same time, it adds to the excitement, doesn't it? Because, you know, it's all about getting the result. And, you know, cup shocks happen. We've been on the wrong end of plenty over the years, haven't we? Those of you old enough to remember, in this competition, I called Walsall back in '83, one at Highbury. I think they were in the third division, which is equivalent to League One now. And they beat us 2-1 at Highbury that night, one of Terry Neal's last games. Of course, in the FA Cup, we've lost to York, we've lost to Wrexham, we lost to Oxford in this competition when Oxford were in, I think they were in Division 1 at the time. M&G Maxwell says, we haven't won this trophy since 1993. It's about time we lifted it again. Way too long to wait. No, exactly. I mean, absolutely. I was saying that at the start of the show, you know, we've only won it twice ever. So, yes, our record in this particular competition is poor. For a club of our size, when you look at our record in this competition, our record in Europe, it's really, really poor, isn't it? And, you know, we need to put it right, because, you know, other clubs will always use that against us. I say all the other big clubs have won this trophy since we have, and I say even smaller clubs have as well. You know, likes of Birmingham, we beat us, of course, in the final, if you remember. You know, Swansea have won it. Even Tottenham have won it more times than we have. Grot says, I have to ask you and the folks in the chat, what is your take on people who light up flares in the stands? Here it's very common, and I am not too fond of it, especially when they throw them on the pitch. Grot says, I went to see the FA Cup against Lincoln, and a dude in the away crowd lit a sparkly thing. Then those can't find a cake. Immediately the staff and the crowd around him let him leave. Here they are treated like VIPs. Yeah, we don't really get it in this country. I think it's against the stadium rules, as far as I'm aware. Sometimes we play games in Europe and the European teams come over and do it. I'm not a massive fan of it. I mean, sometimes it can take ages to clear it from the pitch, and you just see like a fog. Plus, as well, obviously, there is a health and safety issue. I've got no real issues with it necessarily, but I'm not a big fan. Mike says, aren't flares banned? Yeah, they're banned from UK stadiums, yeah. But I say sometimes the European fans bring them, don't they? Gabriel says, we need our ultras at Arsenal. Well, no, we do need ultras. They don't need to let off flares, though, do they? Greg says, Wrexham was one of the biggest shocks. Well, it was, yeah. I mean, the season before, Wrexham beat us in the FA Cup. We'd won the league, and Wrexham had finished bottom. So there was 92 places between us, and they beat us 2-1, of course. We were 1-0 up in that game as well, actually. It's been... That was obviously one of the biggest FA Cup shocks in history, wasn't it? Not the most memorable afternoon that was in North Wales. I went to that game. It was very, very disappointing. But these things happen. As I say, cup shocks happen, don't they? And the good news was we lost to Wrexham on that particular occasion. And then what happened was we went and won the FA Cup the next year. So, you know, I think we won both cups, didn't we, actually, the season after we lost to Wrexham. So anyway, my stream has just gone a bit stupid again. So I'm going to try something else just to see if we can get things moving again, which is what we want to see, don't we? Because we want to see the game. It's all what it's about, isn't it? Gabriel says, I think it's fine as long as people don't throw stuff on the pitch. No, obviously, no, you can't throw stuff on the pitch, can you? Grot says, against the rules here too. But they are, what's to say, sissy to deal with those fans. Well, no, I understand what you mean, yeah. And I think sometimes that's, you know, that's the way it goes, isn't it? It's, I know different countries, people get away with different things, don't they? We're very health and safety conscious here. That's one thing, isn't it? That's a fact. We are very health and safety conscious in this country. And, you know, we don't get away with stuff like that here, do we? It just doesn't happen. I don't know what's up with these streams here. It's ridiculous. Anyway, there's lots of different games on actually tonight. Of course, it is the Carabao Cup fourth round. It is the fourth round. which is good stuff. And I said the winner here tonight will be into the quarterfinals of the League Cup. And then you feel like you're not far away from getting to Wembley then, don't you, when you get to the quarterfinals? You're 2 games away. Still 2-leg semi-finals, I believe. They've kept that, haven't they, the 2-leg semi-finals? Chan says, will Skipper be back on the field after international break? Yes, hopefully. We'll see. But I think the whole issue with this in terms of Martin Ødegaard being unfit is that it's kind of brought home how we don't really have, or we don't seem to have, a way of playing when Martin Ødegaard's not in the team, an effective way of playing attacking wise, do we? We've been very, very stale without him. And, you know, let's be honest, Martin Ødegaard isn't Kevin De Bruyne. He's not that sort of a player. We should be able to cope without him much better than we have done. So I don't really understand what the problem is with it, other than obviously it's a coaching issue for me. And of course we've missed him, but that's the reason why we've missed him. We haven't missed him because he's one of the greatest players in the world, because he isn't. We've missed him because the manager hasn't come up with a way of playing when he's not in the team, an effective way of playing without him. And that's a manager issue for me. It's definitely a manager issue. Anyway, Arsenal are trying to come forward over on that far side. We played 11.5 minutes. Nothing much has happened so far. Emma G says there, along with Oil 115 is in the bin dippers, do you think the West London pension thieves are a challenge for the title? Well, no, I think they are. They're certainly playing some good football. There's no doubt about that, aren't they? Scoring a lot of goals and stuff. I think they've got a chance, absolutely. Gabriel says, honestly, Nations League is pointless because it's just adding more games for nothing. It makes sense for lower nations to play in the competition. No, I agree with that, yeah. Too many international breaks. Too many international games. I don't know why this stream's not working. It's absolutely doing my head in now. The game's on, but I can't. It keeps freezing. I don't know if it's me. Signal here. I'm not really sure what's happening. Anyway, we'll keep trying. We will keep trying because, well, we've got no option really, have we? We want to see the game. It is still 0-0 anyway. Nothing much has happened, luckily. So we're not missing too much, which is good news, isn't it? And I'm sure we'll get there eventually. I'm sure we will. Anyway, it is Preston North End against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, or the League Cup, as it has always been known. Another sponsorship deal with Carabao. I believe, I don't even know what Carabao is. Are they like an energy drink or something? I think they might be, mightn't they? Anyway, I'm not sure they should be sponsoring sport. But anyway, let's see. Gabriel says Ødegaard is like top 15 in the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, but the Ballon d'Or is a load of nonsense, isn't it? Anyway. It's not based on anything other than favouritism. It's not based on ability. Chan says, I only like Euros and World Cup, but hate the qualifications. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mark C says, we've got all the ball and they're sticking the boot in. Yeah, well, exactly. But that's what you'd expect them to do. They're a championship team. And that's what championship teams do. They're not going to let us play, are they? Not going to give us time and space. And still my stream's not working. I honestly haven't got any clue what's going on here. Any other games on? Any other games streams playing, or is it just this one game? I've got a feeling it might be my internet actually. Let's have a look. See if I can get a better internet. That's what I might need to do. So you'd imagine it's going to have to be a UK one, because it's only being shown in the UK, isn't it? So I would assume it's going to have to be a UK thing. We've got any UK ones? I'm not sure if we have. I don't think we have. I think that might be the problem. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on. I've got a UK one here. Emma G says 1-0 to Palace at Villa. Yeah, Villa will turn that around. This is the sort of competition, actually, that someone like Unai Emery at Villa would probably be able to win. And I think if they were to win it, it would be a good start. I think it's a good start for anyone. To win the League Cup, I think it just shows, doesn't it, that it's the right thing to kick you off. You look at, say, some of the great managers that have been successful, a lot of the times the first trophy that they've won has been the League Cup. George Graham at Arsenal, if you remember. I say Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, all these managers that went on to have great success. Their first trophy was the League Cup. So let's see if Mikel Arteta, maybe this is what Mikel Arteta needs. Maybe that is what Mikel Arteta needs. Maybe he needs to win this trophy, a trophy. Obviously, this one will do. And then that might be the thing that kickstarts his Arsenal career. And then, obviously from there, maybe he can move forward and we can have a lot more success. Roland says, Man United versus Leicester 1-0. Casemiro scored. So you get rid of your manager and you win games. Who would know? Grot says, hi again, had to leave for a minute. My mum called. Oh, no worries at all, my friend. Good to see you back. Marcy says, 87 win that kickstarted our success under the George Graham. Exactly. It's exactly what happened. And I say it does that quite a lot. Gabriel says, Carabao Cup is Klopp's last trophy. There you go, you see. He won it a couple of times, didn't he? So let's I don't like it when you see fans dismissing the League Cup. Oh, it's only the League Cup. Only the League Cup. It's like, well, it's a trophy. It's a competition to win. You get to Wembley. You play Wembley, lift their cup at Wembley. Nothing can beat that. And whatever people say about, it doesn't matter. For fans, it matters. A day out of Wembley to see your team win a trophy. There's nothing better than that. It's what we're all here for, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's why we follow our team, because we want to see our team win something. And no matter what level you watch your team at, whether it's non-league level, whether it's Sunday league, you watch your team because you want to see your team win. And if you're a player, you want to feel those moments where you win a trophy. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I've said this before. Players when their career's finished, they're not going to look back on their career and say, well, I finished second in the league a few times. No, they're going to look back and say, how many medals did I win? How many trophies did I win? And that's what it's about. Any player will say the same, because that's why any sports person, it's about what you win, isn't it? Sport is, I know these days it seems to be about, it's just about competing and this and the other. No, sport's about winning. It's about winning. And that's what it is. And unless you're winning, what's the point almost? If you're not going to win things, it's a very short career in sport, isn't it? For lots of reasons. And, winning trophies is what defines a great career or not, I think. This is what we always say about Harry Kane, don't we? Harry Kane can score hundreds of goals, thousands of goals, but how many trophies has he won? And that's what we always come back to. And yet suddenly it's okay for Arsenal not to win any trophies. It's okay for Arsenal to finish second, as Tottenham did. That's all right, but it's not all right. We laugh at Tottenham for that, don't we? We laugh at Harry Kane for not winning anything. Why aren't we starting to laugh at Mikel Arteta for not winning anything? Because that's what's happened, isn't it? Gabriel says charity shield. You can't count a charity shield. Goodness me. Greg says it's a trophy. It's a pity we won't see it with Arteta in charge. Well, we don't know. You don't know. I say there's been small clubs. And when I say small clubs, I'm talking about Birmingham City, Swansea City. They've won the League Cup. Why can't we win it? There's no excuse. To me, there's no excuse why we can't win this and why we haven't won it for such a long time. It just makes no sense. Gabriel says a trophy is a trophy. Yeah, a trophy is a trophy. But the Community Shield isn't a trophy. It's just a friendly, a pre-season friendly where you happen to get a little shield, which is just for charity. That's all it is. It's not a trophy. Rajendra says he won the FA Cup. He did. He won the FA Cup with the team that everybody says wasn't good enough. So he had to get rid of all the players. And since he's got his own players, what's he won? Since he got rid of all those winning players that won him the FA Cup, what have we won with his team? Nothing. Gabriel says Community Shield is recognised as an official FA trophy. No, it isn't. It's not an official trophy, is it? Where on earth have you got that from? It's not an official trophy, is it? It's a friendly. It's just a glorified friendly. And, the last time we won it, we didn't win anything to get in it. You're supposed to win something to get in it, aren't you? We never even won anything to be in it the last time we won it. So, and Marcy's pretty right. It's an honour, not a trophy. Exactly, yeah. And in fact, I'm not even sure if it's an honour. I don't really know what it is. It's just a friendly where you get a little trophy if you win. That's it. I don't look on it as anything else. Grot says there, and that's why I've quit every single sport I've ever participated in. Always lost everything, even if I claim to have scored the most clever goal ever seen. But James just says, well, you can't get much commentary because I can't watch the game at the minute because my stream's not working. So I haven't watched the game yet. I've watched about 2 minutes of it. So I'm just filling in the time really until I can get it back. So you just have to be patient and bear with me. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. I'm just trying to be able to watch it. I don't know what it's doing. It's just going stupid. It's going stupid. We'll get there in the end. But no, you're right, though, Greg. It's about winning, isn't it? That's what sport is. I've played sport all my life, and I don't just quit because I don't win. I've always continued to compete, but you want to win, don't you? That's what it's about, really. Obviously, now it's not necessarily about winning. It's about doing the best that you can do, isn't it? Being the best of you that you can in those games, and that's what it's about, isn't it? And that's what I try and do now. But that's winning in its own sense, isn't it? I don't know what's going on here, honestly. It's doing my head in now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my internet's just playing up. Not really sure. Let's see what happens, shall we? Grot says, well, I ain't missing much now. There is no phasing in Arsenal's game plan. No, I mean, what I saw of it didn't look very good. Anyway, but, we want to try and watch the game. Of course we do. Let's see if we can get somewhere here. What is going on here? I don't understand what's going on. Gone proper mental. Anyway, let's have a look and see what we can do. Can we get the game on? This is more exciting probably than the game. Seeing if I can actually get the game on. I've never used this Sky Plus before. Has anyone ever used it before? Is it usually this crap, or is it just my internet? Oh, here we go. We finally got somewhere. Anyway, we played 21 minutes, 22 minutes. Chance of we're all over. Well, I hope we are all over them because they're a Championship team and we're a Premier League team, so we should be all over them, shouldn't we? It looks like a corner anyway to Arsenal. If it's going to be a yellow card by the look of it. Greg says money has destroyed the competitive side of football. Money's destroyed everything, not just in football, particularly in football, but money's just destroyed everything, isn't it? Gabriel Martinelli got clear down that far side. In fact, it's given us a foul. It's a free kick to Arsenal on the edge of the box, but not outside the edge of the box in front of the goal. It's to the side, to that left-hand side. And it was a yellow card there to, what's his name? Kane Kesler Hayden. What a great name. Kane Kesler Hayden. Brilliant stuff. Anyway, it's Preston 0, Arsenal 0. It's on a free kick to Arsenal over on that far side. Martinelli is going to take this. Gabriel Martinelli. Mark Smith, what's that, my friend? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Terry says there, question, would you sooner have Wenger's last 5 seasons or Arteta's 5 seasons? This one's for the Arteta section. Well, yeah, that's a good question, actually. I know what my answer is already. The free kick comes in. Gabriel Martinelli to the far post, headed back. The shot comes in. It's a goal. Oh, and guess who scored? It's Gabriel Jesus. His first goal for about 4 years. It's come against a Championship team. He's finally found his level. He's tucked that one away. It's Preston 0, Arsenal 1. And once again, it's a goal from a set piece, but it is. We can't score from open play. It was Gabriel Martinelli's free kick. It headed back at the far post by, who was it headed it back? Is it Jacob Kiwior? And then Gabriel Jesus on the volley from about 6 yards, fires it in, and Arsenal are well on their way. Mark says first in 26 years. I know it feels like 26 years, doesn't it? There you go. Chan says he finally found his level. Indeed, he has finally found his level, scoring against Championship teams. Well done, Jesus. Brilliant finish, by the way. It is 1-0 to Arsenal midway through this first half. And just as we managed to get our stream working, we scored. There's something in that, isn't there? That must just be the way it is. Oh, anyway, there was a bit of a dodgy back pass there that goalkeeper Stepford on his debut had to scramble across there to keep that in, to stop it being from a corner. Gabriel says Jesus level with Anthony. Yeah, he probably is. Yeah, is that for the longest time without scoring in the Premier League for a South American player? Is that what record it is? Rogerio says 1-0 to the Arsenal. Indeed, it is 1-0 to the Arsenal. We just played the tune. We love a good 1-0 to the Arsenal, don't we? But there's still a long way to go in this game yet, and my stream is just frozen again. Just as we thought we were getting somewhere, it's just frozen. But at least we did get to see the goal, which is good. Gabriel says Anthony robbed the Ballon d'Or. What did he take it off of Rodri? Did he? See, that's the other thing. Actually, I don't know. Obviously, everyone's aware that Rodri won the Ballon d'Or this week, and the kind of outcry from fans around the world. It's like, I actually quite like the fact that it's not a goal-scoring player that's won the Ballon d'Or. It's usually attacking players win it. It's quite nice that it's a defensive midfield player, because that role is so underrated in football. So I actually quite like the fact that Rodri's won it, and he is the best in the world in that position. I don't have any doubt about that. So it's nice it's very rare that defensive players win the Ballon d'Or. They have done. I'm not saying it's never happened, but it's quite rare, isn't it? It's usually the attacking players that win it. So it's quite nice, I think. I think the goalkeeper's won it before as well, actually. Was it Yeshin? Anyway, what is going on with this bloody stream? Gabriel says Lamine Yamal. Well, yeah, he's got loads of time to win it, hasn't he? He's like 17, the kid. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to win it now, does he? He's got loads of time to win it. He'll probably win it hundreds of times before the end of his career. But anyway, let's see what is happening with this stream. Mark C says Lev Yashin. Yeah, I'm sure he won it, didn't he, as a goalkeeper? There'll probably be others as well. Like, there'll be other defenders that's won it, I'm sure. But yeah, so it makes a change. I think it's nice to have a defensive player getting recognition, because too often they don't. Too often they don't. And so I think that defensive midfield role is so undervalued. So it's quite nice when it gets. Gabriel says Modric. Yeah, but Modric is an attacking player, isn't he? He's not a defender, is he? So he's a sort of player that generally you expect to win it, don't you? A flair player, if you like. I'd call him a flair. Maybe an attacker's not necessarily the right word, but like a flair player. They're the players that normally win the Ballon d'Or, aren't they? Your Lionel Messi, your Cristiano Ronaldo, those type of players. That's who wins that sort of thing. So I think it's quite refreshing to see a different player. Martinelli's got injured, by the way. Another injury for Arsenal. Are these the players that's being overplayed? Is that what's happening? Is that why they're all getting injured? Because they're overplayed? Who knows? Chan says Cannavaro. Did Cannavaro win it, did he? Mark C says Willie Young won it for his tackle on Paul Allen. Well, he should have done, shouldn't he? In fact, that tackle from Willie Young is what became known as a professional foul, wasn't it? And they brought in a red card for that, which they hadn't done before. So there you go. Gabriel says Modric is a midfielder like Rodri. Well, no, he's not, is he? Because Rodri is a defensive midfield player. Modric is an attacking midfield player. It's a totally different role. Anyway, Preston have got a corner, whipped in towards the near post, and a shot comes in, and it just runs across the 6-yard box, and Arsenal should clear this away up this near side. And it is Jurin Timber there, who's playing right back. And it's going to be a throw to Arsenal. Raheem Sterling's gone down. Looks a little bit of pain. Just get him off then. Just get him off. Grot says there, speaking of not being able to score, Gabriel has to be the only player who can stand clear on the goal line, open net, and still hit the ball over the crossbar. Well, yeah. Anyway, Martinelli is back on the pitch. So hopefully he's going to be okay. We don't really need any more injuries, do we? We've got some tough games coming up. Anyway, the Arsenal subs are warming up. Thomas Partey amongst them. Not quite sure he's going to be coming on quite yet. Anyway, Arsenal are coming forward now with Gabriel Martinelli over on that far side. Arsenal's left. The ball's played back to Zinchenko. Gabriel says Ramos has to be like one of the most goal scorers as a defender. Yeah, he probably is. But I think actually, who is it scored the most goals as a defender? Oh, a shot comes in, and while it's deflected, it was that Mikel Merino again looking for another goal. And that was Jorginho, actually, hit that shot. It was deflected. Jorginho again finds Raheem Sterling, pulls it back to the edge of 6-yard box. It might well be 2-0. Oh, it was Ethan Nwaneri's shot straight at the goalkeeper, looking to score again in this competition. He got 2 goals, of course, in the last round. Good football that from Arsenal on this near side. Sterling pulled it back, and it was touched off there by Marino. Mark C says Marino looking smooth. He had a shave, has he? Because he's normally a little bit stubbly, isn't he? But I just think, again, maybe a bit like Jesus, he might have found his level a bit as well. Anyway, Arsenal are winning, and we're on the verge of a quarter-final in the League Cup. Wow. Not too many of them in recent years. Anyway, coming forward again, Martinelli it was his free kick that set up the goal for Jesus about 5-10 minutes ago. It is 1-0. Arsenal looking in control of this game at the moment. It's going to be a throw to Preston on this near side. Paul Higginbottom's their manager, by the way. Who, of course, is managing the Premier League. Was it Sheffield United he was managing in the Premier League? I think it might have been, wasn't it? Grot says there, I have to leave. See you at half time. Indeed, my friend. See you very soon. It's a free kick now to Arsenal. Over on that far side, a bit scrappy play there. The ball ricocheted a couple of times. As Zinchenko is now going to take this throw for Arsenal. Have we won in this black kit this season? Oh, we did at Tottenham, didn't we? Must be the only time, I think, is it? No, we lost at Bournemouth. No, we won a blue kit to Bournemouth, didn't we? Yeah, that was again a bit of a strange back pass, and Tommy Stepford has to just touch it off to William Saliba. Gabriel says, how many goals would Jesus score in the Saudi League? Well, he'd probably score a few, wouldn't he? 5, maybe 6. Preston are now coming forward, looking for the equaliser here. Shot comes in from the edge of the box. In fact, he slips over there as he hits it. It was Sam Greenwood, who's on loan, of course, from Leeds. Gabriel says we wore black. Oh, we did wear black at Villa as well. That's right. So we've won 1-0 twice in the black kit. Are we winning 1-0 now? Does that mean that we're not going to score any more goals in this game? Or are we going to score a few more in our black kit for a change? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's see what happens. Jorginho now the captain tonight in midfield. He only tends to play in these type of games now, doesn't he? Drop down the pecking order a little bit. Jorginho is on the ball again inside the centre circle. Looking for a forward pass. In the end, just touches it off up this near side to Juren. Timber gets it back again. Now Timber again. So his injury from the weekend wasn't too bad. Anyway, Sterling, will he keep this in? He does keep it. That's good play from Raheem Sterling. Can he get the cross in, though? Just touches it short to Jesus on the edge of the box. Played it into Ethan Nwaneri. Oh, it's in the top corner. What a goal that is. His 3rd goal in his competition. His 3rd goal for Arsenal. And it makes you wonder why he's not playing a lot more in the Premier League. Ethan Nwaneri, I'll tell you, doesn't even look that happy, does he, about it? I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, it is another goal to... And that was a great goal, actually, from the, it must have been, 20 yards out. Ethan Nwaneri there gets the ball. It was ball into him there, let it run across his body and then curled it into that far corner. The goalkeeper just stood and watched it. Jesus has got the assist. Simple little ball off, though. And then Ethan's shot into that top corner. That's a great, great goal. Wayne says, no goal in the world. Indeed. Mark C says, scorcher. Indeed, it was a scorcher right in that top corner. And that is his 3rd goal of the season. Mikel Arteta just sits there with his arms folded. That's interesting, isn't it? Because he knows he's going to get a load of grief now as to why he hasn't played Ethan in the Premier League more. Anyway, Chan says Chelsea 2-0 down to Newcastle. Are they? Wow. Gabriel says goal now, and where he is cooking, he is. He is cooking. That's 2 goals in 9 minutes for Arsenal. We're now completely in control of this game away at Preston in the Carabao Cup. Placing the quarterfinals is coming very, very shortly. You imagine now for Arsenal, it's going to take some sort of effort this from Preston to get back into this game. And maybe this is our year in the Carabao Cup, mate. Maybe it's our year finally to win this trophy again for the first time in ages. Gabriel says, what a goal. Regina says 2-0. Indeed, it is 2-0 to the Arsenal. And at the moment, things are looking fairly comfortable Fairly comfortable. Greg says Ethan won't get in the team now, showing up. Jesus. Well, no, you're right. He's. I want to see. It's quite interesting, isn't it, to see how many more minutes on the pitch he's going to get now in the Premier League. Mark C says that goal highlights why a guy should shoot more often from the edge of the box. Exactly. Yeah. If you don't shoot, you're not going to score, are you? Absolutely. And we all like to see a goal from outside the box. Always looks better, doesn't it, than a tap in from 4 yards, which is what most of our goals seem to be these days. Anyway, it's Joanne Timber on this near side. Plays the ball forward to Gabriel Jesus inside the penalty area on this near side. Can he get a cross in? No, he finds Timber again. And Timber touches it off to Jorginho. Now Gabriel Jesus is going to get it back again on this near side. Plays it back to Jorginho. Now it's to William Saliba. Plays it square to Jacob Kiwior. Gets it out to that far side to Gabriel Martinelli. He's going to go past the defender again. Can he get a cross in? Went past him, didn't cross it, but he's come back. He's brought back again. I think he's whipped a cross in now. Doesn't seem to do that enough, does he? He always wants to take people on 2 or 3 times, Gabriel Martinelli. He's got the ball over on that far side again. This is nice from Arsenal. Ball's played square again. Now it's with Joran Timber. And again, it's Arsenal in complete control at the moment. Ball played into Jorginho, touches it off to Mikel Merino up this near side. Gabriel Jesus. Merino was fouled, but Arsenal in possession. In fact, the referee has pulled it back now for the free kick. It was a foul there on Mikel Merino. And he's getting back to his feet again. It's a free kick. We did a cool score from a free kick a bit earlier on as well. So can we add a third goal here before half time? That would seal it, wouldn't it? As it is already, you do feel as though 2-0 is probably a bridge too far for Preston, who have struggled for goals a bit. They've only scored 13 in 16 games in the Championship. We got a free kick. Gabriel says Chelsea losing 2-0. Yeah, we saw that at Newcastle. Yeah, let's not get too excited. We play Newcastle away at the weekend. So, we don't really need them to get a confidence boost ahead of that game because they've been struggling lately. Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli is going to take it. And it was his free kick earlier that led to the opening goal, didn't it, for Jesus? Let's see what happens with this one. He's got his arm up there to try and whip this ball in. Gabriel Martinelli whips it towards the far post, maybe overhit that a little bit. And it's going to go out for a throw. William Saliba could only just head it back and out for a throw. There's a little bit of movement on the Preston bench, actually. We're not even at half time yet. Their manager's seen enough and want to make some changes. That would be a bit early, isn't it, to make changes in a game, even if you're losing. But anyway, it is a throw to Preston over on that far side, which Josh Watmore is going to take, throws it long up that far side. Zinchenko wins a header, but Preston win the second ball. And in the end, Jacob Kiwior steps in, plays the ball forward, and Preston just trying to play around with the ball at the back, just trying to get a bit of possession. Probably not had too much in this first half, have they, Preston? They've not really created too much against Arsenal's debutant goalkeeper, Stepford. Mark C says, I'm confident about a match against the Magpies, which we're playing better in our away games. Well, we didn't play well at Bournemouth, did we? We didn't play. I don't think we have played that well in our away games. We've won a lot of them, but we were very fortunate to win at Aston Villa. We were fortunate to win at Tottenham. We were fortunate to win. What was that other game we won away from home? We were lucky to win that as well. So I think our results have been good away, but I think we've been lucky to win a lot of them. I don't think we played particularly well. I don't think we played particularly well anywhere, actually, so far. But, the results generally have been okay. Oh, Preston have just given the ball away on the edge of the box. It's going to come into Raheem Sterling, but that's a terrible first touch. And then he commits a foul. And it's going to be a free kick there. Better first touch there from Sterling. It might well have been 3-0 to Arsenal. Chan says Tottenham 1, City 0. Wow. That's a bit of a shock. Well, I say it's a bit of a shock. Tottenham actually have a good record against Man City. They're crap against everybody else, but for some reason they seem to play well against Man City, don't they? But they are winning. It's still early days, of course. I think that game kicked off at 8 o'clock as well, didn't it? So it'll be a little bit behind our game here. They'll be quite early. Preston coming forward now, looking for a goal back, which could change the whole complexion of this Carabao Cup tie, couldn't it? If Preston can score before half-time, sometimes a 2-0 lead can be quite a fragile one. The cross is deflected, but it's in straight into the arms of Tom Stepford. Good defending, actually, by Jacob Kiwior with Sam Greenwood there, trying to get round the back, create some problems for Arsenal. Young goalkeeper looks pretty confident, doesn't he? For a young goalkeeper. He's not had to do an awful lot in his first half, and I'm sure as long as it stays like that, he'll be quite happy, won't he? A clean sheet on your debut is quite good. Well, as a goalkeeper, that's the same. If you get a clean sheet on your debut, it's probably equal to scoring a goal on your debut for a striker, isn't it? Although it's slightly different for a goalkeeper, isn't it? Because you've got your defence in front of you. They can sometimes be the difference between a clean sheet and not. Greg says, why are we playing Sterling? Showing an under-19s player could have been available. Well, yeah, there is. I mean, obviously there would be some under-18s players, under-19s players available. But we've got him on loan, so I guess we need to use him. I'd rather he play in this game than in the Premier League. But yeah, these are the sort of games where we should be using more of our young players. That's why I'm a bit disappointed Miles Lewis-Skelly isn't playing tonight, because one, Zinchenko is just terrible anyway, and two, the more games these young players play, the more they get used to playing in the first team, the more good experience it is for them. So I'm a little bit disappointed that he's not playing. I'd really like to have seen him play. But yeah, I'm sure there is someone in the under-19s who could have done a good job and gets a bit of experience tonight. There's not anyone on the bench who can play in that position, actually. I say we've got most of the regular first-team players on the bench, haven't we? Apart from Nichols, Lewis-Skelly and Heaven. And you can't see Heaven coming on. He's a centre-back anyway, isn't he? So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just one of the many gripes I think that many of us have at the moment, really, with the way things are going. You know, I don't believe this squad is strong enough to really challenge. But anyway, Timber with a cross. It's not a bad ball, actually. I beat everybody. It's gone behind for a goal kick. It was a decent ball, actually, but Gabriel Jesus isn't in the 6-yard box attacking the middle of the goal. That's why he doesn't score enough goals, because he's not getting himself into those positions. If you're centre forward, if your wide player's got the ball out in a wide area, you've got to be attacking that 6-yard box. Attack that space in there in the middle of the goal, not at a far post, in the middle of the goal. That's where you're going to score your goals from. And that's why Jesus doesn't score enough goals, because he doesn't do that enough. So, but anyway, it is something that could be our downfall, is not having an actual proper centre forward in this squad. Proper out and out centre forward, a proper goal scorer. Mark C says Jesus is not a natural centre forward. No, he's not. He's not a natural centre forward at all. He's I don't know what you describe him as, really. He's a forward player, but he's not a goal scorer. He's not an actual goal scorer. You know, the ball's now back with Tommy Stepford, the goalkeeper. Plays it out to Jacob Kiwior, pops it into midfield to Mikel Mourinho, goes back to the goalkeeper again. In fact, the Arsenal fans are behind the goal that we're defending in this first half. I don't know why I thought it was the other way around. I think because when I went there, the cameras were on the other side anyway. Doesn't matter too much, does it? You know, Arsenal are in possession in midfield. Now it's in with William Saliba coming forward towards halfway. In now into the Preston half. Threads the ball up this near side. It's going to reach during Timber, is it? No, it's not. He can't quite keep it in. In fact, Sterling almost got in the way there. He should just let that ball go. I think it was meant for Timber. In the end, it's gone out for a throw to Preston, which Andrew Hughes is going to take on this near side for Preston. Famous club, of course. Famous ground, this Deepdale. Obviously, seen a lot of changes over the years. But it is a nice ground. If you get the chance to go, definitely go, because it's a nice ground. Anyway, I also won the ball back. Ethan Nwaneri plays it out towards Gabriel Martinelli. He's had to scamper after that because it went a little bit behind him, but he has managed to pick the ball up. Now it's with Zinchenko square to Jorginho. Sorry, now it's with Nwaneri again. Timber around the outside. The cross is deflected. Comes back to Ethan Nwaneri, who's been the star performer again for Arsenal. He seems to do it every time he plays, but he's still not good enough to come on in the Premier League very often, is he? Even in games that we're losing. Manager doesn't trust him. That's the problem. He doesn't trust a lot of these players, a lot of these younger players. Anyway, Jacob Kiwior got absolutely slaughtered, really, didn't he, in that Bournemouth game? Anyway, Jesus now shuffles out to that far side. Gabriel Martinelli, is he going to go around the outside again? He doesn't. He cuts inside, cuts back. Doesn't like using his left foot too often, does he? Comes back to Jesus, played off to Mikel Merino, tries a shot, it's blocked. Comes back though to Jorginho. Arsenal putting up the pressure here just before half time. Mark C says it's a mind-numbing drive up the M6, which is always messed up. Well, no, that's true. It is. In fact, the Preston bypass part of the M6 was the very first ever motorway in England that was built in 1956, I think it was. The Preston bypass. Everyone thinks, oh, it was the M1 was the first motorway. It wasn't. The M1 was the first completed motorway, but the first section of motorway was the Preston bypass on the M6. And maybe bypassing Preston sometimes is a good idea, isn't it? Anyway, I remember when we went there in that FA Cup game, we were looking for somewhere to park around the ground. And we found this little side street. We thought, this looks quite a nice little side street on this little estate near the ground, probably 5-minute walk away, maybe 10 minutes. Anyway, we were just about to park up and we saw there was this bunch of little chavvy kids and other people were parking. And they were in back. Oh, that's a good ball, Jesus, in the box. Nice touch. Couldn't finish it, plays it back instead towards Ethan Wan where it's cleared away by Preston. Anyway, there was these kids and they were sort of saying, give us £1 to look after your car. That's what they were saying to people. So I thought, I'm not going to park here. That was a throwback to the 1980s. So in the end, we actually parked in, I think it was Asda, which is just opposite the ground. And it was fine. So if you are going to Preston again, park in Asda, because it's all right. I'm sure it was Asda, next door to the ground pretty much. Anyway, we're going to stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's going to be 2 minutes. Arsenal are 2-0 up. So it's good, isn't it? Rajendra says he does not want him injured like our other young players. Well, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Because players can get injured playing 5 minutes, or they can get injured playing 90 minutes. They can get injured in training. They can get injured falling down the stairs at home. You can't stop injuries. You can't not play a player because you don't want to get injured. Then, you know what I mean? Go and get another job. Players get injuries are part of football. Injuries are part of sport. You can't stop it happening. And he's never going to get injured if he's sitting on the bench. So the longer he spends on the bench, and then when he does come on, he's more likely to get injured because he's not used to playing at that level. He's not used to the intensity of it. The only way to do it, you've got to play. Says Fabregas in the team at, 17 every week in the team. He never got injured. Saka in the team every week. Okay, he's had the odd injury, but look how many games he's missed in the last 3 or 4 years. Hardly any. It's just an excuse. Injuries are part of football. Martin Odegaard got injured playing for Norway. You know, it happens in football. It happens in football. But you can't spend your life thinking, well, I'm not going to play, I might get injured, or the manager can't, I'm not going to play this player because he might get injured. It doesn't stop him playing Saliba every week. It doesn't stop him playing Gabriel every week. It doesn't stop him playing Saka every week. It doesn't stop him playing Martin Odegaard every week when he's fit. It doesn't stop him playing Declan Rice every week. It doesn't stop him playing Ben White every week. They could get injured, couldn't they? Anyway, there you go. Terry says he don't mind what state Saka's in. No, he doesn't know he'll play him regardless, won't he? Although Saka's quite durable, isn't he? Let's be honest. The amount of punishment he takes. And he's back for more, isn't he? Always there doing his job. Great goal, of course, against Liverpool at the weekend, wasn't it? His first game back from his injury that he's had. But again, that was for England as well. That was an international game, wasn't it? You see, well, let's just stop them all playing international football then, shall we? Don't train in case they get injured. Don't send them for international football in case they get injured. Don't play them in the Carabao Cup in case they get injured. I don't know. I just want to see them play. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to play. Let them play. Anyway, it's a throw to Preston. This will probably be the last action of this first half. So it took about 4 hours to take it. I don't know why. That's my stream just froze. I don't know if that was the reason. Anyway, it was a poor throw. Arsenal headed it away. It's hooked back in again towards the edge of the penalty area, flicked on. But Tom Stepford's there. And we've played the 2 minutes now of stoppage time. And there might not be too much more to go yet. And it is a fairly comfortable position for Arsenal to be in In fact, there goes the half-time whistle. It is... Oh, no, the half-time whistle hasn't gone. I thought the half-time whistle had gone then, but actually the referee's carrying on. I thought he'd blown, but we're carrying on. Not quite sure what happened there. We've actually played over the 2 minutes of stoppage time. So I'm not too sure if he's given a free kick to us. I think the rest forgotten, actually, that the game should have finished by now. In fact, I think he might well be playing for half-time now. He was going to give the free kick, but I think he's thought, no, I've played too long already. I think he was just enjoying himself, the ref. But it is half-time. And it is Arsenal are 2-0 up against Preston. Yeah, it's fairly comfortable for Arsenal. We've had 78% possession. Just goes to show our dominance. We've had 6 shots to their 3 on target for us, 2 goals, 1 on target for them. Yeah, it's been a comfortable Arsenal performance against a fairly moderate opposition, you've got to say, a bottom half championship team. We should win. We are winning. Looks to be fairly comfortable. So we can start looking ahead to a quarter-final. And then we might get in. It's a draw tonight. I think it is, isn't it? I think the draw's after this, isn't it? It's a draw tonight after the Man City game. It'll be interesting, won't it, to see who we get. Who do we want in the next round? Who do we want to avoid? Well, I suppose Man City, if they're through. We don't really want to play them, do we? Although we've got a decent enough recent record against them, so why not knock them out, I suppose. But I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? Man United are still in it, aren't they? Wouldn't mind getting them, actually. Man United would be quite a good game to have, wouldn't it? Now, we can't avoid the good teams, can we? Let's be honest. If you're going to win a cup, you've got to beat someone decent, haven't you? Whether it's in a semi-final or a final at some point. So let's get them out of the way, maybe. But no, that was a decent enough performance, wasn't it? You know, Preston aren't very good. Maybe not quite as good as I thought they was going to be. Actually, they've been on a good run of not losing. So I thought they might have put up a bit of a better fight, really. But Arsenal dominated that game. Yes, we've got a lot of experienced players in there. We should be dominating the game. We are. And yeah, 2 goals from Gabriel Jesus and Ethan Nwaneri. That's his 3rd goal in the Carabao Cup. He's enjoying his competition, isn't he? And if we go on to win it, he might well enjoy it even more, mightn't he? It'd be his first little trophy for Arsenal. And he'd have played a big part in it as well, wouldn't he? So there you go. Regina says, no, he's very young and he's not fully... Well, no, he's not. But other players play when they're 17, 18, don't they? For Arsenal, they have. You know, I say Cesc Fabregas was one, and players do. Regina says... Jack, and then, well, yes, some players get injured, and that's not to do with their age. You know, Jack Wilshere was getting injured when he was 25 as well, so it made no difference to his age. You know, look at other young players who don't get injured very much. Each player is different, obviously. The physicality of each player is different. Some players are a bit more robust and can deal with the physical side of football a little bit more easily, don't get injured as much. Other players seem to get injured all the time. And that's the way it is. And sometimes you can't know that, can you? But I mean, Ethan looks a tough cookie, doesn't he? He's a big lad for his age. He looks strong. I think he's ready to play. You know, we've seen a lot of young players coming through, and some players you can tell they're ready. Other players, maybe you're not sure. Maybe they're not quite physically as strong, and this, that, and the other. Maybe they're the ones that need to be protected. Ethan doesn't. Ethan's ready. And he showed in this competition, and bearing in mind, championship teams and League One teams that he's played against, they're very physical. They're the type of teams that you will get injured against because they don't care about kicking you. They're not bothered. You know, they're coming up against the players that are 2 or 3 levels above them. They're not going to be able to compete with them on a skill level, but they can compete physically, and that's what they do. And these games are more physically demanding in that sense, aren't they? And if he can play in a game like this and against Bolton, and still be head and shoulders above the team and not be intimidated by the physicality of it, and he's robust, players are bouncing off him. He's a big, strong lad. I honestly don't think it's a reason not to play him. I think he's ready. He is ready. And when you look at the problems that we've had in that attacking midfield area without Martin Ødegaard, the only reason I can think of as to why Mikel Arteta hasn't played him more is because it would give him a headache if Ethan was playing as well every week and starting to score goals and create stuff and filling in for Martin Ødegaard. What does he do when Martin's fit? It's going to be more difficult just to throw him straight back in. Now everybody's crying out for Martin Ødegaard because no one else has took on that position, because look who's been playing there. You know, Trossard, that's not his natural position, is it? He's not a number 10. He's not in that role, is he? He's not suited as much to that role. It doesn't work, you know. And you know, Kai Havertz has played in that position. We've had who else has played there in the last few games? I can't remember now, actually. But anyway, the players that's played there, it's not their natural position. It is Ethan's natural position. He should have been playing. He should have been playing the last 3 or 4 games in the Premier League. And would we have seen better performances? Bournemouth, would that game have gone the way it did? We lacked creativity in that game. Ethan's got that creativity, you know. Against Liverpool, he could have done more in that game, you know, than we did. I know we played okay in the first half. In the second half, we needed someone like him who's going to take a chance with the ball, try and make something happen. That's what you need, and he's a player that can do that. But Daniel says that is why Saka is playing. No, but Saka's been playing the last 4 seasons. Saka's been playing regular since he was 18. 19, whenever it was, when he started playing every week. You know, he's been playing all that time when he was young. Mark C says Saka has rubber legs. That's the only expert. Well, there's something. He's got something, hasn't he? Because he gets kicked and booted every single week from pillar to post, and every week pretty much he plays. And yet he was missing because he got a hamstring injury, which isn't a contact injury, is it? It's just a muscle strain, and that could be from overplaying him in particular, because he plays every single game, and he plays 90 minutes nearly every single game. Alexander says, Rich, you are putting me off listening to you. Well, because you disagree with me. That's not very good, is it? If you can't deal with people disagreeing with you, then you need to sort it out. Mark C says, I want to play Spurs. Well, yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Play Spurs. I agree. I'd like to. Yeah, let's play. If Spurs beat Man City, let's get Spurs in the next round, and let's beat them. Like, that'll be fun. That's quite good. Grot says there, Jackson was a great player until he was injured. But you mean Jack? Oh, Jack Wilshere. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he was absolutely. He would have been. I think he would have been one of our greatest ever players if he. You know, do you remember that game against Barcelona? Was it 2011? I think it was. He was 18. Jack Wilshere was 18 in that game, and he absolutely ran that game again. And this was prime Barcelona. This isn't the Barcelona from a few years ago. This was prime Barcelona, and he absolutely dominated that game. He absolutely ran that game in midfield. 18 years old he was. And I remember coming out of that game thinking, wow, I've just seen one of the greatest midfield performances ever in the Champions League. I mean, it was a great game. We won and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was one of the great performances, wasn't it, from Jack Wilshere? And yeah, I think without his injuries, he would have been just unbelievable. He would have been unbelievable, wouldn't he? He would have probably been one of our greatest ever players. He might still have been playing now. I don't know how old he is, actually. He's got to be, his late 30s, has he? I know he had to retire, obviously, early because of all the injuries. I don't know. Mark C says, Rocastle started early and he used to get kicked around a lot. He was hardly injured. Yeah, you see, Rocastle was another one, isn't he? He was a big, strong lad, wasn't he? Even when he was young. I remember when he broke into the team, he was like 18 or 17, wasn't he? And he didn't look 17, did he? Because he was so big and strong, powerful. And I think that's key, isn't it? I think if you've got that strength, you're not going to get injured as much. Obviously, some of the younger players, they weigh like 8 stone. They're always going to get injured in a men's game, aren't they? But some players you can just tell by looking at them. Rocastle was a great example of that. He was a fantastic player. Fearless as well, wasn't he? Fearless. And I think that's something that you need to have as well as a young player coming into their first team. You know, whether it was in the 80s, whether it's now, you've got to have. You can't play with fear. You've got no chance if you play with fear. You've got to be strong mentally as well as physically. David Rocastle absolutely was. Cesc Fabregas absolutely was. You know, Jack Wilshere absolutely was. It was just the injuries in the end got to him. He was made of glass, wasn't he, poor fella? Grot says, speaking of injuries, the funniest yet, at least from an Arsenal stand, has to be Rami Shaban's injury during a goal kick. Oh, yeah, I do remember that, actually. That was funny. Phil says, it's like kickboxing training. He's used to getting the boot. Exactly, yeah. And, you know, that's sometimes in training, that's what we need to do more. Maybe we need to, physically build our players up a little bit more to make them stronger. Mark C says ESR was more suited to replace Odegaard. Well, no, he was, absolutely. He was the more natural replacement for him, I agree. But he was never, ever going to get enough minutes, was he, in the team? He had to leave, didn't he? Poor lad. You could see what it was doing to him mentally. Every time you saw him, he just looked a shadow of himself, you know, which was such a shame. Priscilla says, hi from Uganda. How you doing? Good to see you all the way from Uganda. Brilliant stuff. Martin saying hello there as well. Grot says, Stefan Schwartz. I remember Stefan Schwartz. He was a great player, wasn't he? Of course, from your neck of the woods, isn't he? From Sweden. Only had that one season at Arsenal, didn't he? We obviously, it wasn't a great season for Arsenal. We struggled in the league and did get to that cup final in Europe, but he had some great moments. Remember that free kick? That was in the semi-final, wasn't it? When Stefan Schwartz got that free kick, last-minute equaliser it was to take the game to extra time. That was against Napoli, wasn't it? Was it Napoli? I think it was Napoli, wasn't it, in the semi-final? Greg says Rocky was great. So, he was fantastic. He was my first real proper idol that I had of Arsenal players. I mean, there was loads of players before that I really liked. Tony Woodcock, Charlie Nicholas, etc. But Rocastle was the one, wasn't he? He epitomised everything because he'd come through a youth system as well, and he was just a fantastic player and such a humble guy as well. And I think that was quite important as well. He was from the streets, from the rough estate in Brockley, wasn't it, where obviously Ian Wright was from and stuff like that, and he did the journey that all of us had dreamed of, growing up playing for Arsenal, coming through the system and stuff like that. And yeah, he still now, it's so sad what happened to him. Obviously, we'll never forget that game against Tottenham on that day. But yeah, he was something really special, wasn't he? Rocky, just incredible. But yeah, it was, and it does show, doesn't it, that young players can make it. If they're good enough, they'll make it, but they've got to be given a chance to prove that they're good enough. Otherwise, it all just slips away, doesn't it? So yeah, definitely. And he says, saw Charlie in a wine bar, Cockfosters back in the day, miserable. So I said, how could you say he's miserable? He always looked like he was enjoying life. Maybe because he met you, Ange. Maybe that's why he was miserable. Maybe you should have cheered him up. That's what it was. He needed you to cheer him up because he always seemed quite happy, didn't he? Charlie Nicholas, just incredible. I used to love him, actually. Sampdoria, that's it, not Napoli, Sampdoria. I knew it was an Italian team. Yeah, it was Sampdoria, you're absolutely right. I remember the first leg at Highbury when we won 3-2. That was a great game, wasn't it? Steve Bold scored twice in that game. Incredible. I won some money on that because I remember that day before the game, for some reason, I just walked into my local bookies on the way to the game. I didn't normally bet. I don't bet at all anymore. And I just went in there and put a tenner on that Steve Bold scored the first goal. And he was about 50-1 or something. Anyway, after about 20 minutes, we scored from a corner. Tony Adams scored at the clock end where we were. And obviously, for a few seconds, I was really happy. And I thought, oh, shit, we bet. And then actually the goal got disallowed. And I've never been so pleased to have a goal disallowed, really, inside. And then about 5 minutes later, Steve Bold scored. And I just went mad. It was brilliant. What a night. And so I ended up winning 3-2 as well, which made it even better. But yeah, I'll never forget that. That was a great night, that. Which was good. Mark says, it might sound like a stretch, but for me, Rocastle was the number 7 successor I've been waiting for since Brady. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I remember watching Liam Brady play, but I wasn't actually going to games and I was a little bit too young. I'd seen him on the telly and stuff, and I knew what a great player he was. But yeah, Rocastle for me was number 1. He played number 7, but he was number 1, definitely at the time, 100%. Him and Merson were my 2 favourite players back then. Brilliant stuff. And what I liked about as well, I mean, they were both a similar age to me. I think Rocky was like a year older than me. Merson's the same age as me, and you always feel a little bit more connected to those sort of players, don't you? Because they're similar age to you, and you can see their life, what how you would have dreamt it. You know what I mean? And now out there doing it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Really good. Anyway, we have kicked off second half, actually. My stream went again. We've only played a minute. And Kai Havertz is on. I've just noticed Kai Havertz is on. So who's gone off then, guys? Who's gone off? Has someone noticed the subs? Because I didn't see him. Because my stream had gone off. Greg, so I remember a few of us went over to Sampdoria just to watch Brady play. Of course, yeah, Brady played for Sampdoria, didn't he? Of course he did. He had a good career in Italy, didn't he? everywhere he went, everyone loved him. I remember when he came back to England, played for West Ham, and the West Ham fans loved him, didn't they? I remember we was at some game and we were losing, and Liam Brady scored for West Ham at Upton Park, and it was a strange moment because I'd never seen him play for Arsenal live because he left before I started going, and that was the first time I'd actually seen him live in the ground, and he did score for West Ham, and I kind of felt like, I don't know, it was mixed feelings really because we lost the game, and a lot of the Arsenal fans felt the same, and it was great to see him play. I think West Ham won 3-1, and he scored. Did he score 2 goals? He might have scored 2 in that game. He definitely scored 1, I remember. But yeah, that was the only time I saw him play live in the stadium, and it was against Arsenal, and he scored. Anyway, Martinelli coming forward now. That's a good ball actually into the space here. Zinchenko slips as he tried to play that cross, and the ball runs comfortably into the arms of goalkeeper Freddie Woodman. He's played in the Premier League, hasn't he? Freddie Woodman. I'm sure he has. Was it Man United or somewhere? He was like one of their like reserve goalies or something. Was it Man United? Freddie Woodman, or was it Man City? I'm sure someone will know. I'm sure he definitely played for a Premier League club, didn't he? I don't know if he played in the Premier League for them. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward again, looking for a third goal, which would kill this off. Arsenal attacking the end where their fans are, as well. It's always nice to see a goal. Oh, the crossing now was a dangerous ball actually from Gabriel Jesus. The defender looked like he was going to pop it into his own net, but he didn't. And it is now a goal kick. That was quite good defending there from Kane Kesler Hayden, who's probably got the best name of all of the Preston players. Kane Kesler Hayden. What a great name. Brilliant. Anyway, he did some good defending there. He's the one who got booked in the first half of that foul on Gabriel Martinelli, which actually led to the opening goal. Mark C says, does anyone on here think we'll ever get to the stage where Prem teams have 3 or 4 Irish lads, a Scotsman and a Welshman? No. I think those days are long gone. It used to be the case, didn't it? I seem to remember Liverpool when they were, at their peak, maybe late 70s, early 80s time. They had quite a lot of Scots players, didn't they, at one point? A lot of Scots, obviously, Alan Hansen, Graham Souness. I think they had a few more, didn't they? And yeah, I think those days are gone, aren't they? Unfortunately. Clubs will just buy foreign players, and sometimes the foreign players aren't necessarily better, are they, than the English players? But they just seem to be a bit more. The fans seem to want them more, don't they? Sometimes. Anyway, that's a long ball forward. It's going to go into the arms of the goalkeeper. Gabriel says, "Remember Torreira from Sampdoria?" Yeah, I remember Torreira. He was a great little player, wasn't he? Great little player. Played for Arsenal at a difficult time, though, didn't he? I suppose you could say the Unai Emery kind of time where, we was struggling to adapt to life without Arsene Wenger. I suppose Arsene Wenger anyway started like that, didn't he? We had a lot of English players in the team, didn't we? When Arsene Wenger came, and obviously the French market that he knew got a lot of French players in and all that kind of stuff. And that's where it started for Arsenal, didn't it? The real foreign invasion of players, if you like. And obviously the Premier League, sort of Jurgen Klinsmann was one of the first ones, wasn't he? In that, Dennis Bergkamp, they were some of the early ones to come over, weren't they? Zola. I remember it was quite rare, wasn't it? I remember when Arsenal signed Vladimir Petrovic. Some of the younger viewers may not remember him. He was from what was, I think, Yugoslavia at the time. I think it's Bosnia now, isn't it? Maybe I can't remember what it is now. But I'm sure he was Yugoslav, wasn't he? And he came and played for Arsenal for 6 months. And he was just an incredible player. Never seen anything like him before. The skill that he had, the way he glided around the pitch. But he wasn't cut out for English football. It was far too physical for him. He didn't like getting kicked. He didn't like getting tackled. He wasn't used to it. And he had some brilliant games for Arsenal. But there was many games where he just disappeared and he didn't even know he was playing. But he was a fantastic player. And that was the first real kind of foreign player that I'd experienced really playing for Arsenal. And I'd never have thought back then, 1982, I think that was. I'd never have thought back then that we would end up with almost a whole team of foreign players under Arsene Wenger at one time, wasn't it? In fact, we probably did have a whole team of foreign, no English players in the team at one time. We probably did. So it's funny, isn't it, how football's changed. Anyway, Preston coming forward, and even they've got a lot of Danish players in their team actually, so they've not got that many English players. Even in the Championship now, this is a problem, isn't it? Even English players aren't really getting picked in Championship clubs. You know, even the top Championship teams have got foreign players. This is a good move from Arsenal, and of course and Nwaneri was at the heart of it. A lovely ball, but it did break down with one of our English players, Raheem Sterling, and now Preston on the counter attack. If they could get a goal back, it would make it more interesting, wouldn't it? Certainly, but that cross area is well dealt with there by little Tommy Stepford. He's done pretty well, hasn't he? You know, he probably wasn't expecting to play this season, and there he is playing already. Greg says Johnny Radford used to be one of my favourites to go and watch. Yeah, again, he's a little bit before my time. Johnny Radford, obviously, I've seen clips of him. I know his goal scoring record. I think he's still in the top 4 Arsenal goal scorers of all time, isn't he? 151 goals. Incredible player. Grot says, I have to shut down. My batteries are about to run out, and I'm on the run, so can't charge. See you after the final whistle. Yeah, good stuff, my friend. We'll see you very soon. Mark C said, my first AFC match, we had 6 Irish players, 4 English players, and 1 Scotsman. Yeah, I mean, my first Arsenal game, we had David O'Leary played, Pat Jennings played. So there's 2 Irish players there. I think all the rest were English, actually. Graham Rick, Kenny Sanson, Brian Talbot, Paul Davis, Raphael Mead, who played in my first game. He scored, actually. Alan Sunderland. So, yeah, I think it was 2 Irish and 9 English, probably, in the first game I went to, 1981. Anyway, Preston coming forward, actually, over on that far side. They've had a little bit of joy over there, haven't they? Got in a position here to maybe get across it inside the box. Shot comes in. Oh, good defending, actually, there. Was that... I think that was William Saliba, of course, as you would expect, getting in the way of it. Gabriel says he went to Spain because he didn't like London and wanted the sun. Well, yeah, you don't get much sun in London, that's true. Grot says 22 players, 30 of them from France. So that's it, by the way. Mark C says Timber and Marino have gone off. Oh, have they? Okay. That's that must be the latest 2 subjects. I mean, pictures froze. The stream's still going because the commentary's on, but for some reason the pictures froze. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Maybe I need to come out of it and go back in it again because the pictures froze. I could hear the commentary, so it was actually playing, but it seemed that the pictures froze. Let's see if we can get it back again. Gabriel says the late Wenger era doesn't have any English players because I can't think of any apart from Holding. Theo Walcott. Won't be too many, actually. You're right. There won't be too many. Callum Chambers. He didn't play that much, did he? He was a young English player. Was there any who came through our academy that were playing at that time? Obviously, Jack Wilshere was still there, wasn't he? Although he was injured most of the time, he was still there, wasn't he? So he probably did play the odd game here and there when he was fit. Oh yeah, Chan's come up with a good one there. Chamberlain. Oxlade Chamberlain was English. Yes, he was. He played for England. Oxlade Chamberlain. He's definitely English. His dad played for England as well. So now Oxlade Chamberlain was English. I was saying Chambers, Callum Chambers. He was English. Although he never played for England. But no, Alex Oxlade Chamberlain is definitely English. He's another one. Yeah, that's a good shout. I've forgotten about him. But yeah, he was English as well. Yeah. So there was a few. Not obviously many. But, you know, that was a feature of Arsene Wenger's time at Arsenal, wasn't it? He didn't sign many English players, did he? Obviously, Sol Campbell being the most famous one, probably, out of all of the ones that he signed. He didn't sign that many, though, did he? English players. Gabriel says, technically Nketiah and Jack Wilshere, but they rarely played. Yeah, I think Saka was there as well. I don't think he didn't play, though, did he? And Nketiah had played, because Nketiah played... scored his first goals, didn't he, in Arsene Wenger's last season as manager? So, yeah, Nketiah was definitely there. But yeah, not too many. You're right, handful maybe. But yeah, football's changed, though, hasn't it? I don't think we necessarily need a lot of English players. It's nice that we've got some at the minute, isn't it? Obviously with Saka and Deck. It's nice to have some there, but it's not as important, is it? I don't think, as it used to be. I think it used to be massively important, didn't it, to have core of English players that had come through the system. So, but yeah, it's just different now, isn't it? It's just different football. Anyway, I've had trouble with my stream all night, and let's see if I can get it back. I think it's been the internet, if I'm totally honest. But anyway. Oh, hang on. Is it 3-0? Oh, it's 3-0, man. I missed that goal. Mark C says, Terry's favourite player just scored. What, Kai Havertz? Was it Kai Havertz who scored, did he? Was it Kai Havertz? I mean, when you say Terry's favourite player, I can only assume it's Kai Havertz. King Kai, indeed. See, I don't really have a problem with Kai Havertz. I got to be honest. I don't mind him at all. Terry says, Super 29, indeed. I'll have to watch the goal again in a minute because my stream has gone off. Gabrielle says, Ben White and Rice are good. Well, yeah, no, they are good, yeah. I forgot about Ben White, actually. You're right. Yeah, another English player, Ben White, of course. We did have Aaron Ramsdale as well, of course, until very recently. But yeah, if you look for the top Premier League players, not that many English, is there? Gabriel says Kai Havertz scores again. Indeed, Kai Havertz does score again. It is 3-0 to Arsenal. We are going through to the quarterfinals, guys. Quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Is this going to be our year? 32 years of her in the League Cup. Is it going to be over this year? Is this our year? Is this our year to win this competition? Long, long, long overdue. We've only ever won it twice. Come on, we need to win it, don't we? Let's do it this year. Let's get it done. There's going to be 3 substitutions for Preston now. And one of them's got a man bun, which is a little bit disturbing, isn't it? So let's see who's coming on and who's coming off for Preston. So Bowler's going off. Maybe he's in the wrong sport if he's a bowler. I didn't see how quick he was. Maybe he was a fast bowler. Who knows? Anyway, he's gone off. Sam Greenwood's gone off as well. And Reese has come on. And now the player with the man bun's coming on. And his name is Ben Whiteman. And, my favourite name's gone off. Kesler Hayden. Oh, no, it's Potts that's come on. Sorry, it's Bradley Potts. He's the one with the man bun. Bradley Potts. What a legend. Terry says there's not a hope in hell, 29 minutes. I haven't seen it actually, but I'm sure we'll see it soon. Great header, says Mark. Well, I'm sure he did mean it. That's the thing is everyone says, someone scores a goal that might look a bit lucky, but it's like if you're playing and you kick the ball towards the goal, it's not you want it to go in, don't you? So it's not that's you want it to go in. So it's not like I didn't mean it. Of course you meant it. Oh, Thomas Partey's on as well, actually. I don't know when he came on. Probably when my stream was down. Mark C says, great cross by Kirior. Oh, well done to Kirior there, because, I thought Kirior got really, really badly treated in the Bournemouth game because he wasn't the only one who was absolutely terrible. And, it's a shame that he seemed to have got most of the flack. Obviously, being come on as a sub and then being taken off again is always the worst feeling for any player, isn't it? Yeah, Raheem Sterling's just run after this ball and kept it in. Well, that's the quickest I've seen him move for Arsenal there. Oh, he's just giving it away. That was Kirior again. And suddenly Preston are in and they might get a chance to pull a goal back. And he's pulled it wide. The one big moment for Preston on the hour. And he's missed the target. It was Janssen Frodger. He was offside anyway, but you've got to finish that, my friend. He's one of their many Danish players. 2 more subs for Arsenal coming on. It is going to be Lewis Skelly and Bukayo. Why is Bukayo Saka coming on? We're 3-0 up. Why are you bringing Bukayo Saka on? Why? He's just come back from injury. Anyway, the good news is Zinchenko's going off, which is good. And it's going to be Miles Lewis Skelly coming on. No earring problem this week. He's managed to remember to take his earrings out. So it's good to see him get some minutes. I'm not quite sure why he's putting Saka on. Ridiculous. Roland says, why are we putting Saka in this team? The game is already over. Martinelli's going off. Yeah, why not throw one of the other youngsters on? I don't know. Ridiculous. You watch, if Saka was to get injured now, imagine the chaos. Gabriel says, well, Man City just got one back. So what's the score there? Do we know? Actually, if we have a look at some scores, actually, because there's a little bit of a break in play here. Let's have a look at the scores, shall we? Brighton 0, Liverpool 2, Villa 1, Palace 1, Man U 4, Leicester 2. Well, Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0, and Tottenham 2, Man City 1 at half time. It's Nunez has scored, Werner and Sarr for Tottenham. Well, they were 2-0 up, Tottenham. Incredible. Anyway, yeah, Newcastle 2-0 up against Chelsea. Man United 5-2 up now. Casemiro's got 2. Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes has got 2 as well. And it's certainly Leicester have been an exciting team to watch this season, haven't they? Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 1. Guess who scored for Aston Villa? John Duran. What an incredible player he is, by the way. Terry says, this is why Arteta is the best manager in the world. Exactly, yeah. Because we're beating Preston 3-0 and he's brought on Bukayo Saka for the last half an hour when we don't need to. Gabriel says, Bruno just scored. He did. Greg says, typical Arteta doesn't trust his squad. Exactly, yeah. So he's ended up having to bring on Saka, Havertz, Partey. Is Rice on? I bet he'll be next one to come on, won't he? If he's not on already. There we are coming forward now. Raheem Sterling. Oh, look at this from Raheem Sterling. He's took it round about 3 players. He finds Gabriel Jesus. This is going to be 4-0. What a goal this will be. Oh, he's missed it. And the rebound's missed as well. Was that Sterling again in there? And he can't score. Well, that is literally the best thing Sterling's ever done for Arsenal there. What a run that was. He took it around about 4 players. Released Gabriel Jesus. Good save by the goalkeeper, Woodman. And then the rebound was Sterling as well, got on the end of that. And then he was unlucky not to score. Wow, this was great skill, this from Raheem Sterling. Skips round 1 challenge there. Skips past 2. Look at that. That's brilliant stuff. Played a good ball as well. Jesus was unlucky not to score. Good save. And then Sterling on the rebound. But it was a combination of the goalkeeper and a couple of defenders. And then Sterling's second effort was pushed around the post. Wow. That was an incredible moment there, wasn't it? Sterling seemed destined to score. He couldn't quite force the ball home. It is a corner to Arsenal. Mark C says, once again, a substitution decision that baffles every Arsenal fan. Well, yeah. Well, there'll be some Arsenal fans that won't question it, though. Oh, yeah, get Bukayo Saka on. He's just come back from injury. He needs the minutes. No, he doesn't. He needs a rest is what he needs because we've got some big games coming up. So keep him on the bench. If this game was 0-0 or we were losing or whatever it is, yes, I'd understand bringing him on because he can save you the game. But don't bring him on when we're 3-0 up. Come on, like, ridiculous. Gabriel says City is like processed foods. They're popular and good, but they aren't real foods, just plastic. Well, yeah, that's a very good description, actually. I like that. That is a very good description of them. You know, we've got a corner on this near side. Jorginho's going to take it because all the other corner takers are not on the pitch. Not from this side, anyway. Saka always takes them from the other side, which he just took the previous one. This is going to be a corner comes in, whipped in towards the near post. It's flicked on. Oh, it's headed off the line, I think it was, by a Preston defender. And it's gone by. It's going to be another corner to Arsenal. It's just a matter of how many goals Arsenal are going to score in the rest of this game. 25 minutes to play. Terry says the best thing Sterling done for Arsenal was turning us down for Chelsea. Well, yeah, but he's come back, hasn't he? That's the problem. In fact, it would have been an own goal, that, in actual fact. It was a Preston player who flicked it on, and then the Preston defender cleared it away. Chan says, who was Saka subs for? Martinelli. He came on for Martinelli. Anyway, Saka was going to take this corner, but he's not now. Because Ethan Nwaneri going, in fact, he's going to take it. He just had a little word there with Ethan. Maybe they've got a special little routine they've been working on in training. Saka's corner. Miles Lewis Skelly's in there as well. He'll be looking for his first Arsenal goal. Again, it's a typical lineup. Ball comes in towards the near post. It's flicked on. Flick behind. It's going to be another corner to Arsenal. We've had about 4 corners in a row. That ever happened before? It was Miles Lewis Skelly was in there with a flick on. And Arsenal looking for a 4th goal, which would put the icing on the cake a little bit, wouldn't it? It would put the icing on the cake. Anyway, it's a corner over on that far side. Every time we get a corner, they show Nikola Jovic, don't they? Because he's a set-piece coach. Anyway, an Arsenal player was brought down in the box. What's happened here? I think he's going to make the corner be taken again. See, it's funny, isn't it? Why do they do that? Why do they? It's a foul. Why do they not give a penalty? Why do they insist the corner gets retaken? That's a foul on Lewis Skelly there. It's definitely a foul. And yet, he's going to let the corner be retaken rather than give a penalty. They do that a lot, don't they? Sometimes they won't even let the corner be taken because they don't like the pushing and shoving. Well, if it's a foul, it's a foul. I mean, there's a penalty. He's pushed him over. It should be a penalty. The referee's seen it. The ball was in flight, so it's not like it was before the corner was taken. Not that that should matter anyway. It's a penalty. That should be a penalty. Anyway, we're going to have the corner again. So there you go. It is a corner over on that far side again. Bukayo Saka with it. Again, it's whipped into the near post. Preston deal with this one. A shot comes in from the edge of the box. Again, it was Ethan Nwaneri, but that one's gone over the top of the crossbar. Will he get 2 goals in this game as well, as he got in the last round? Mark C says, Duran, is he worth a gamble? Because he won't shift Watkins from the Villa start 11. I mean, he's definitely worth a gamble, but our manager doesn't do gambles, does he? Plus, as well, I don't think Villa would sell him. He's too important for them, isn't he? You know, what you need a player who's going to come off the bench and make a difference. And he is that player, isn't he, at the moment? I mean, I do think he will get starts in the team as well. You know, he's scored more goals than Watkins this season, John Duran. So I'm sure he will get opportunities to start games as well. I mean, I'm assuming he started this game tonight. He scored quite early on, Carabao Cup and all that sort of stuff. He's still a young player as well, though, isn't he? But yeah, it's a nice luxury to have a player like that on the bench who's going to come off the bench and score for you pretty much every time he comes on, which is what he does. Just incredible, really. But yeah, we wouldn't buy him. We won't buy him. We just won't. Anyway, Preston trying to come forward now on that far side. It's a good tackle in there from Thomas Partey, who looked as though he's actually playing right back. He must have replaced Timber before because Timber's gone off. But he's just back from injury as well. So that's a sensible substitution, isn't it? But it does go to show our lack of depth at right back when we've got to play a midfield player there. And although he's done okay, actually, in the last couple of games he's played there, Thomas Partey, hasn't he? He played well against Liverpool. He's done all right there. Bukayo Saka now battling away for the ball in midfield. Now it comes to Lewis Kelly. That's a good ball up his near side. Raheem Sterling's now playing on the left. Oh, he's gone around the outside. Could this be a good moment for Sterling? He leaves 2 defenders on the floor, pulls it back to the edge of the box, and there's no Arsenal player there. Thomas Partey was trying to get there, but he couldn't quite make it. Ball's played back in field now to Jorginho. That's a great ball. Kai Havertz pulls it back. This should be 4-0. It is 4-0. Or is it offside? It was Nwaneri with the finish, but he was offside, Kai Havertz there. That was great football though from Arsenal. Jorginho with that ball over the top. Was he offside? There's no VAR. He was offside. He was offside. And a lovely goal though, and it was Ethan Nwaneri again. Greg says, hell will freeze over before Arteta buys a striker. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, he's been in nearly 5 years. He hasn't bought one proper striker, has he, in all that time? He's got rid of a few. Lacazette, Aubameyang, Balogun. And all he's bought is Jesus. As we said before, isn't a proper striker. But we don't need a proper striker, do we? Because we can come second without one. And that's all right, isn't it? Second's good. Anyway, Preston now looking for a goal back. Ball drilled across the box, but wasn't a great cross, and Arsenal deal with that quite comfortably. And now Raheem Sterling's in possession. He's got Bukayo Saka outside him if he can find him. He does. Bukayo Saka now facing the fullback one-on-one, cuts in field, goes past another player. Oh, and he maybe did a little bit too much there. Could have released that ball. He's lost it, and now Preston back in possession again. We're into the last 20 minutes here at Deepdale. Preston 0, Arsenal 3. And it's been a pretty comfortable Arsenal victory, to be honest. It's been a decent enough performance. It's not been the most exciting game, but there's been good moments, some good goals. And Arsenal comfortably moving in to the quarter-final. And that will be played before Christmas, I believe. And then, yeah, who knows? Maybe a Wembley appearance is on the cards. Of course, you remember last time we appeared at Wembley for the FA Cup final, there was no fans because it was during COVID, wasn't it? So it'd be nice to be back at Wembley with fans, wouldn't it? It would be nice. Let's see if we can do it this season. It was Frodka there, the Danish player who was offside, a substitute. He's been offside a couple of times, actually. It was his effort before he was offside, wasn't he, when he put it wide. He was offside again. Anyway, Jorginho now inside the centre circle. Finds Jacob Kiwior. He touches it off to William Saliba. Now he goes out to the far side. Ethan Nwaneri scored a great goal in that first half to put us in control. They just have one disallowed. This is a good play from Arsenal. Kai Havertz falls over himself, and Preston can now bring the ball forward. Play that with near sides with Funkiar again. Goes towards the edge of the box, plays it a low cross in. Good defending from Jacob Kiwior. Oh, and there's a foul there on the edge of the box. That was a bit nasty, wasn't it, there? And that was Preston there, the Icelandic midfield player, is going to get himself a booking. Can't really have too many complaints there, can he? It was Kai Havertz there, caught him late. It is a free kick, but Kai is okay. He's another tough cookie, isn't he? He is another tough cookie, isn't he? And it's Stefan Thordsson. Fordson? I don't know. Yeah, he's Icelandic, and he's just got booked for that rather wild tackle. Oh, is that Stuart McCall on the bench? Yeah. Terry says no comment. Yeah, it's probably best for no comment, actually. It's probably safer that way, isn't it? Anyway, Tom Stetson plays up his near side, which comes out for a throw, actually, looking for Lewis Skelly. He's done all right, the goalkeeper, hasn't he? He's not been overly tested, let's be honest. He hasn't been overly tested tonight. Preston have been very, very poor. But he's on his way to keeping a clean sheet on his first ever appearance. Anyway, Preston are coming forward now. Are they going to get a goal here? There's an opportunity on the edge of the box. Oh, it comes, it's deflected. Again, it's good hands there from the goalkeeper. That wasn't the easiest cross to deal with because of the deflection, but he just came out and grabbed it as though it's what he does every day. He does do it every day. It's his job. But it was really confident goalkeeping. I've been quite impressed with him, actually. I've been quite impressed with him. He's looked good. And this is one of the points I've been making. You know, you don't know how good a young player is until they're playing, and you see him play, and you're like, actually, yeah, he's a good player, and he's done well, the goalkeeper. Yes, you know, I'm sure he'll have tougher tests than this in his Arsenal career than he's had tonight. But you can only play what's in front of you, and he's done everything he's had to do really, really well and confidently as well. His handling's been good. His distribution's been okay, and he's commanded his area, and he's done well for a young goalkeeper making his first appearance. You have to say he's been impressive tonight, young Tom Stetson. Arsenal now in complete control of this game, looking for a fourth goal. Raheem Sterling's actually played quite well in the second half. Chips a ball forward. That's just as I say that, it's a poor ball, and it ran ahead of Ethan Nwaneri. And now Preston again looking on the counter attack. But William Saliba's having none of that, is he? These championship players, he can just swat them aside, you know, no problem at all there for William Saliba. And there's been no real problems for Arsenal tonight. It's been a routine victory. 15 minutes to play, and Arsenal are heading for the quarter-final. Chad says Ethan's first touch is better than Jesus. Well, his first touch is better than many players. Anyway, shot in the area. Oh, it was almost 4-0. Just fired over there. And it was Ethan Nwaneri again. He's such a threat, isn't he? Every time he gets the ball in and around the penalty area, he's looking to get a shot away. He's so positive. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there. Cut in field and tried to do it. In fact, that's hit the top of the crossbar. It's way over. Wow, it was so close to a second goal. And that's what he brings. And that's probably why he doesn't get to play very much, because he actually wants to shoot from outside the box. He doesn't just want to play a simple ball backwards. He wants to actually make something happen. Mark C says, yeah, but can he turn water into wine? I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can walk on water as well. Anyway, Preston have just made another sub. And it's Lindsay's gone off and Story has come on. Jordan Story. No relation to the great Peter Story, I don't think. Great Arsenal player from back in the day. He was a tough old cookie, wasn't he? Peter Story. Yeah, it's a goal kick to Preston following an effort from Ethan, which hit the top of the crossbar its way over. Very, very close to his second goal of the night. Now Preston have got a little bit of a free play over on that far side. Is Tom Stetson going to be brought into action? He is. That's another good save. He might have to make another one here. And in the end, Arsenal managed to scramble the ball away. That's a good save again from the young goalkeeper. He has done really well tonight, you have to say. You know, finally, Preston had a little bit of space over on that far side. It's a good shot. An unconventional save in many ways, but he kept it out and he did well. Anyway, Ethan Nwaneri now has got the ball, plays it back to Thomas Partey. And Thomas Partey looked for a long ball up that far side to Bukayo Saka. Plays it in field to Ethan Nwaneri again. They link up quite well, those two. And you can kind of see what we said before about, you know, Nwaneri probably being a natural replacement for Martin Ødegaard, and he's not played him. He's a very he plays in that nice little pocket of space where Ødegaard plays, doesn't he? Anyway, that ball's played out wide by Jorginho to Bukayo Saka. Goes around the outside. What's the pullback like? Didn't quite reach Sterling. Didn't quite reach Nwaneri on the edge of the box either. And Preston managed to scramble it away. But that's going to go out. Good defending by Lewis Skelly. He's had a good season, young Miles Lewis Skelly, hasn't he? Decent little left back. Another player who you imagine has got a big future in the game. You know, Kirill plays it back to William Saliba. Now it's out to that far side. Bukayo Saka again. He's got Thomas Partey for company. He does find that Thomas Partey. Now it's with Jorginho. Looking for a killer pass. He's fouled on the edge of the box. Sterling, was he fouled? Referee says no. Jorginho steps in to try and win the ball again. Preston have won it back and Ethan Nwaneri comes away with it. I don't think that pass was meant for Kai Havertz. I think it was meant for Raheem Sterling. But Kai Havertz picked it up and now also got the ball over on that far side. Played into Nwaneri again, turns away from a defender, touches it back to Jorginho. Arsenal quite content to keep the ball in front of the Preston box here. Saka inside the penalty area, gets a shot away straight at the goalkeeper. Freddie Woodman. Mark C says, I'd start Nwaneri v Newcastle. Well, I would have started him in the last 3 or 4 games, actually, but I don't think he will. I really don't think he will. But let's see. It's always interesting when the team news comes out, isn't it? It's just bugging me who Freddie Woodman played for, because I'm sure he played for a Premier League team. Sure he did. Let's have a look. He played for Newcastle. And he played for Bournemouth as well. But he didn't play a game for Bournemouth on loan. Must be Newcastle I was thinking of then. I know he played for a Premier League club. Did he actually ever play for Newcastle in the Premier League? Well, he played 4 games for him. 2022 in the Premier League. He played 5 in total. He played 9 in total for Newcastle. So yeah, anyway, Ethan Nwaneri has gone off. Aidan Heaven, has come on. A great game from Nwaneri again. He's probably going to be player of the match, isn't he? You would imagine. Not that it's going to mean too much. He's got a lot of congratulations there when he's gone back to sit down on the bench from the other substitutes. And fully deserved as well, because I thought he had a really good performance there. Really, really good. Great stuff indeed. Great stuff indeed. Anyway, Preston in possession into the last 10 minutes and Arsenal won the ball back. Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling's on the overlap here. It comes to Jesus instead. Jesus goes himself. It hits Raheem Sterling, who's trying to get out of the way. And that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? And Arsenal back in possession again. He's back with the goalkeeper, Stepford. He's done well. He has done well. Carrie Boy says, what's the score? It is on the screen. It is Preston 0, Arsenal 3. That is the score, as it says. And Arsenal comfortably going through to the quarter-final. Is there going to be time for one more goal? There should be, because there's plenty of time left. 8-9 minutes. Arsenal coming forward again over on that far side. Thomas Partey finds Bukayo Saka. And Havertz has gone off on an overlap. Saka gets it back again. Thomas Partey's inside him. Saka's got 2 defenders for company. Managed to ping the ball in towards Gabriel Jesus. He can't hold it up and Preston get it away, but Arsenal won it back. Heaven was in there. That's his first touch, actually. Did really well there. He looks quite keen, doesn't he, to get involved. Otherwise, I did not see it on the screen. No worries at all. But yeah, it's there. That is the score. And it is a free kick now to Arsenal into the last 7.5 minutes of normal time. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Fairly comfortable, you have to say. And here's going to be time for a 4th goal. And I'm sure we're going to get an opportunity to get another goal. Be nice, wouldn't it? Terry says, I think Nwaneri will be sold in January because Hairflick will be back. Well, yeah, exactly. But I don't think he'll be sold. I think it would be incredible if he was. Anyway, Jorginho is going to take this free kick for Arsenal, looking for a 4th goal. It's Aiden Heaven tries to play it through. Ball was cut out. Now it's played up its near side. There's some space now for Preston, looking for what would surely be a consolation goal. And that was far too much there. And in the end, Jacob Kiwior comes across. Carrie Boy says, what do you think of the Man City game right now? Is it still 2-1 to Tottenham, is it? Let's have a look. Well, Brighton had a bit of a late comeback against Liverpool. It finished Brighton 2, Liverpool 3. Gakpo with 2 and Diaz. Liverpool are through to the quarter-final. It's Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 2. Wow. Marseille Palace ahead. Yeah, they are. They've just scored again. They lead 2-1 at Villa Park. Well, Man United 5, Leicester 2. And it's still 2-1 to Tottenham against Man City. So are Man City going out? Wow. Lots happening tonight. That cross comes in. Oh, and Preston nearly scored. The goalkeeper was a little bit unsure there. Maybe Heaven didn't help him out. And it was Reese came in there, the substitute for Preston. Almost got on the end of that. He got on the end of it. It couldn't quite direct it into the goal. The 2 Preston substitutes combining there. And Tom Stetson's free kick, clean sheet, almost disappeared in front of his face there. He was a bit unsure coming out there, wasn't he? He should have maybe come and claimed that ball. And in the end, he let it go. And Reese was almost in for a goal there for Preston. But it's gone wide. And Arsenal now back in possession. Kiwior, who's now dropped into left back. William Saliba finds Heaven. Now it's with Kiwior. Lewis Miles Skelly's moved into midfield. So we've seen a few of the youngsters tonight get some minutes, haven't we? Some of them have done quite well. Lewis Skelly's done well. Obviously, Ethan Nwaneri's been the star of the show as normal. Stetson in goal's done okay, hasn't he? And young Heaven's done all right so far. He's not been on very long, but he's made a mark already, hasn't he? Done a couple of good challenges. Arsenal trying to get that ball forward out this near side, looking for Sterling, but it's gone out. It's going to be a throw to Preston. Into the last 4 minutes. Most of the Preston fans, it seems, have had enough. They've seen enough. They're heading for the exit, trying to avoid the traffic. The Arsenal fans, a long journey home, some of them, but they're going to stay to the end. Thomas Partey now threads that ball through, looking for Gabriel Jesus. His first touch let him down. And the ball runs through to Freddie Woodman. It was Newcastle that he played for. I knew it was a Premier League team. Preston now looking to come forward for a rare attack in this game. They did almost score a few moments ago. Are they going to get themselves a late consolation, or can Tommy Stepford get a clean sheet? This is nice play actually from Preston on the edge of the box, but it breaks down again when it gets near our penalty area. And Arsenal defended pretty well. Saliba makes a mistake there, but the goalkeeper is going to jump on that ball. And he should be pleased with himself tonight, the young goalkeeper for Arsenal. Because it was another young goalkeeper who played in the last round, wasn't it, as well? I say because our substitute goalkeeper, Neto, got himself cup tied because he played for Bournemouth in the second round. I mean, that rule's a bit nonsense, really, isn't it, when you think about it? Especially in the early rounds. If a player's played in the first round of a competition, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to play for another team later on. Anyway, Preston coming forward again. Again, it breaks down in a penalty area. Kai Havertz touches it off to Bukayo Saka. Havertz has gone on a run over on that far side. Jesus and Sterling are looking to support him. Saka's gone on a run ahead as well. He's found Sterling on the edge of the box. He thought about a shot, but then fought against it. That's with Lewis Skelly finds Jesus. He's going to go around the outside. Can he get the ball back? Does it go out of play? It stayed in. It is going to be 4-0. Kai Havertz has scored again. In fact, he hasn't because the flag's gone up. The ball must have gone out, and that's the second time Arsenal had a goal disallowed in this second half. It must have gone out there from Jesus. He did try and go the long way round, and when he'd got there, he went even further the long way round. It did go out of play. It did go out of play, and in the end, Havertz has stuck it in, but it was out, and it is a goal kick, or a free kick, sorry, to Preston into the last 90 seconds of normal time. There'll be a little bit of stoppage time, won't there? Maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Just for the sheer number of substitutions, you'd imagine, will probably be most of the reason why there's been any change of scoreline elsewhere in the Carabao Cup tonight. Crystal Palace still winning at Villa. So far, Liverpool are definitely through. Crystal Palace are heading through. Man United are pretty much definitely through. Newcastle are definitely through. We're definitely through. And it's just who's going to win out of Tottenham and Manchester City. That game is still 2-1 to Tottenham. There's over half an hour to play there. And, of course, Southampton and Brentford are also through from last night's games. So, who do we want in the next round? Southampton's going to be quite nice, wouldn't it? But let's see. I quite fancy Newcastle away for me personally, seeing as it's just up the road where I live now. So that would be good. But no doubt we'll get Liverpool away. Terry says, don't blame Neto. That's bad management from anyone else. Well, I think it shows that they don't really care about this cup. The fact that we signed a goalkeeper that they knew couldn't play in a competition. So I would imagine they didn't seem to care too much about it, but I'm sure if we get to the quarterfinals, they will, or the semi-final. It's Raheem Sterling. What a goal this will be! Oh, good defending in the end. And Raheem Sterling's had a good second half, actually. To be fair, he seems to have suddenly come alive in an Arsenal shirt. He was fairly poor in the first half, but he's been really good in the second half. So some really good touches, some nice pace and skill. Of course, he did score his first goal for Arsenal in the last round, and that would have been a great goal there. But it was good defending in the end. Mark C says it's a crap rule. They never did that in the 70s, 80s, 90s. No, they didn't. I don't know at what point it was brought in, actually. I think the reason was because I'm sure there was one time when a player played when they didn't have a transfer window. So I think he had played in up to the quarterfinals with one team. They lost, and then he played in a semi-final and a final for another team. And I suppose that would be wrong, really, wouldn't it? Anyway, that corner wasn't great, was it? It's cleared away, but Raheem Sterling's going to keep this in. Maybe Sterling's actually found his level for Arsenal because he has been good tonight. William Saliba, that's a strange ball. but it's going to be picked up over on that far side by Jesus. And now it's into Thomas Partey. Plays it out to that far side to Bukayo Saka. Cuts infield, touches it off. This is good play from Arsenal. This will be a nice little goal to finish things off. There's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, which we've already played a minute. Forgot to tell you about that. But yeah, I don't know when the cup tie rule came in exactly, but I think with a transfer window, it doesn't really matter now, does it? Because you can't really play, can you? Because you can't sign for another team after the transfer window shut. So what difference does it make? It's not like in the old days when it wasn't a transfer window. You could buy players pretty much any time up until, I think, March. Then it was a problem because players could play for one team up to a certain round and then could join another team who just got knocked out. Anyway, we're into the last minute of stoppage time. And Arsenal just look so we just want to keep the ball, really. Anyway, Heaven does well there, actually. Aidan Evans. Oh, well, since he's come on. And Stepford kicks it long up the middle. Flicks on, Sterling touches it off. Oh, this is nice football. Kai Havertz is in. Is this going to be the fourth goal? Saka. Oh, it's off the line. Oh, it was Sterling, actually. It's off the line. Wow, that's an incredible goal line clearance. And it's from Headbun, Man Bun Man, who got that off the line. Raheem Sterling thought he'd scored his second goal for Arsenal. It was Kai Havertz there, burst through. A little bit of a heavy touch, so he had to play it off to Sterling. It was going in, and that's a good clearance, actually, you have to say. It's a really good clearance from Bradley Potts. And it's prevented it being 4-0. And Arsenal scored 1 goal in the second half. We could have scored 4 or 5. It is going to be a corner. This will probably be the last action of this game. In fact, I think, is that full time? It is full time. The referee has blown the whistle before we can take that corner. It is Preston 0, Arsenal 3. It's been a comfortable Arsenal victory tonight. Mark C says, oh, well, all over, job done, a professional performance. Yeah, it was. It was a job well done by Arsenal tonight. A lot of changes to the team, but yes, it wasn't always free-flowing. We played some nice football at times, and we were far too good for Preston. And that is what it's all about. We are through to the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. It was 2 goals in the first half. Gabriel Jesus with the first one after Jacob Kiwior headed back a free kick from Martinelli. Ethan Nwaneri, probably our best player on the night again, scored a great second goal, cutting in from the right-hand side and curling a shot into the top corner of his left foot. We could have scored a couple more. Second half, we did get 1 more. It was Kai Havertz with a header from Jacob Kiwior's cross. And then in the end, we had 2 goals disallowed. We hit the bar, and there was 1 cleared off the line at the end. We could have scored 5 or 6 tonight quite easily, and that wouldn't have flattered us at all. It was a very dominant Arsenal performance against, you have to say, a very moderate Preston. I expect a little bit more from them, I've got to be honest. But Arsenal made quite easy work of that. Chan says, Kiwior going to get man of the match. He might do. I think Ethan probably deserves it. But anyway, Mark C says, I'd like to avoid getting drawn against Liverpool. I'll take anyone else. I don't think Liverpool at home would be too bad. Liverpool away wouldn't be easy. But yeah, let's see. I mean, we shouldn't be in a position where we're worried about playing anybody, should we? We should think to ourselves, you know what? We can beat anybody. We can win this cup. But yes, it would be nice to avoid the top teams at least 1 more round, wouldn't it? Maybe get to the semi-final and then worry about some of the big boys then. You know, there's some nice teams in there that we could draw against. I wouldn't mind playing Southampton, obviously. If Crystal Palace have won against Aston Villa, I mean, well, that's a good result for Crystal Palace. I think Villa have got slightly bigger fish to fry, haven't they, with Europe and stuff like that, chasing the top 4. So it's finished, actually. Palace did beat Villa 2-1. Man United have won 5-2. Newcastle have beaten Chelsea 2-0, those 2 first half goals. And it's still 2-1 to Tottenham against Man City midway through the second half. Man City had 1 shot on target in that game, actually, which was their goal. So there you go. Terry says, surprised Arteta didn't put 11 behind the ball after being 2-0 up at half time. Yeah, he won't against Preston, will he? Let's be honest. You know, Preston's a team that he knows he can. Well, I just seen Kai Havertz's goal for the first time. That's a decent goal, that. Good cross from Jacob Kiwior. And Kai Havertz has scored. And that's a good cross. Good bit of movement there. Got in front of the defender and headed it in. Nice goal to seal it, make it 3-0. So we could have scored a few more at the end, couldn't we? Let's be honest. But it wasn't quite to be. Ethan Nwaneri hit the crossbar. Him and Kai Havertz both had a goal disallowed. We came close on 2 or 3 other occasions as well. And just showing the Jesus and the Sterling one. But Sterling had 2 or 3 goes at that and still couldn't force it in. Yeah, comfortable win, let's be honest. And we are through to the next round. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see exactly what the draw brings us. So these are the teams that are through: Southampton, Brentford, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Manchester United, Newcastle, Arsenal, and either Tottenham or Manchester City. That is the quarterfinals. Who are we going to get? Can't wait for the draw. Is the draw tonight? Is it after the Tottenham game? I think it might be, mightn't it? Let's have a look and see. I don't know when. It's a draw after the Tottenham game. So I think it might be, mightn't it? Anyway, we are through, and that is the main thing. We are through to the quarterfinals. So it's going to be our year. It's been, what, 31 years, 32 years since we last lifted this trophy. It's about time we did. Let's put that right this season, shall we? Let's get going to Wembley. It'd be nice. We haven't played at Wembley with fans in a cup final since 2017. Mark C says next round draw coming up in the next 30 minutes. So it'll be after the Tottenham game then, which makes sense because that's the last game of the round, isn't it? So we'll see if we get there very soon. Interesting stuff, isn't it? You've got to love a good cup draw, haven't you? Anyway, coming up on the channel, just to remind you all, on Friday is the Arsenal Women's Show, women taking centre stage. So join us at 7:45. We're going to be looking back on the win over West Ham, which seems like a long time ago. We're going to look at the potential manager situation. Of course, we still don't have a new manager yet. May not happen for a while. That's, of course, coming up. Then, of course, on Sunday is the women again away at Manchester United. That game kicks off at 12:30. So we'll be at 12:15 for that one. So join us for that. That is going to be good. Saturday, not quite sure yet if I'm still in the hunt for tickets for Newcastle away. Obviously, if I manage to get them, I'll be doing a vlog of the game. Won't be going live. And if I don't get the tickets, I will be playing football. So we won't be able to do a watch along of the Newcastle game either way. So we'll see what's happening. It's still Manchester City are losing 2-1 at Tottenham. Wow. If City go out, you look at the rest of the draw, is there anyone? Yeah, okay, Liverpool. Would we really fear anybody else? I wouldn't even really fear Liverpool at home. Anyway, the draw's coming up later, so we'll soon find out, of course, who we're going to get. Anyway, thank you to everyone for watching tonight. I hope you have enjoyed the show. Sorry there was a little bit of disruption on the coverage. Me stream didn't want to play ball earlier on. It's been a lot better in the second half, which was good. So, yeah, that's it then for tonight. We've won quite comfortably in the end, 3-0. 3 good goals, actually, it was. We could have scored a few more as well, couldn't we, on another night? But it doesn't matter. Cup football is all about getting through, isn't it? It's all about winning the games. It's all about getting a result and getting into the next round. And that is what we've done quite convincingly as well tonight. Preston 0, Arsenal 3. It was 3 goals. Gabriel Jesus, Ethan Nwaneri and Kai Havertz with the 3 goals for Arsenal tonight. And yeah, really good performance. Yes, you have to say it was a pretty poor Preston team, to be honest with you. I thought they didn't play very well at all, but anyway, we've got our job done, and that's the most important thing. And actually, I'm assuming that the Tottenham game is that on the actual normal Sky? Because that was on Sky Plus we've just been watching. That must be the normal Sky, is it? The Tottenham game. Oh, it is, yeah. 20 minutes left. It is still 2-1 to Tottenham. So is the League Cup going to save Ange Postecoglou's job as well? Because Tottenham aren't doing particularly well, are they, in the Premier League? It looks like it's relentless Manchester City pressure. Are they going to hold on, Tottenham? Knock out City. do our job for us, really. Makes it a bit easier, doesn't it? If City get knocked out, you do imagine City will probably score at some point. But anyway, Terry says, thanks again, Rich, and everyone in the chat. Make sure you hit like button for you. Yes, please give us a like before you go. We will see you on Friday for the Arsenal Women's Show. If you like Arsenal Women, if you like women's football, join us for that. It's going to be good. That's going to be 7:45, and I say Sunday we're back for the Arsenal Women's game away at Manchester United. It is going to be a big one. It's a big game, important game, and we are going to be there for that one on Sunday lunchtime. So lots and lots of good stuff to come, lots of great stuff on the channel. So please stay with us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching tonight. I'll see you Friday for the Women's Show. Arsenal through to the quarter-final. Is it going to be our year in the Carabao Cup? Is it going to be our year? Come on, it is going to be our year. Come on, Arsenal. Let's get that trophy won, shall we? Let's get that trophy won and push on and win a load more. It's our year. It's coming home. The Carabao Cup, that is. Back to Arsenal for the first time in 32 years. We will see you on Friday, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Come on, you guys.